plan fleshed out. People
Yep.
can take their time to come up with each thing.
Mm-hmm.
But let me see which music I should use to start this. Should I just go with the classic? Let me see if this one works.
There we go.
Okay. So you all are in the city known as Jestermere. It's nestled in the rolling hills of the Jovial Vale, and it's a city unlike most others in the world. It's a place where comedy is not just an art form, but is also a way of life. The cobbled streets are just literally paved with merriment. The streets are rainbow patterns. There are tassels and confetti just littering the streets at all times. There seems to be some kind of carnival, fair, or parade every single day. As Futurama quoted, "It was dark times." It was a trade town at one point, but it became a haven for performers, pranksters, and jesters. Eventually, as it was eventually the location of the clown college of. Sorry, names kind of elude me sometimes. I have to go back to different.
Oh yeah.
It became home to the College of Circus Arts and Shenanigans, also known as CCAS. It is the place that anyone who wants to learn any kind of artistry, not just clownery, but anything to do with animals, acrobatics. There are minors in art and singing as well. Just if you're coming to learn how to perform and do a good job of any kind of artistic venue, this is your location. There are some small time colleges elsewhere, but nothing comes close to the sheer shenanigans and elevation of the experience of clownery as this college. The scene starts as is a very sunny, very bright and vibrant morning. Though you wouldn't know it as down the hallways. I picture Gumbo, your character, having just even his door is grayscale compared to the doorways of the other offices of this building.
Oh, most definitely.
You don't have like the most successful start of a position. You probably have like the office near like the train tracks and everything. So every now and then you just hear those kind of like the train horns blare. Even the train horns honk like clowns to really kind of set the scene. I will go ahead and put on your song that you wanted for your opening monologue.
Yep. For anyone, I think Kenneth doesn't usually put audios in the YouTube videos. I highly recommend.
I got it at 65 now. Shouldn't overpower our voices.
As we fade in through the windows, we hear the monologue of the grizzled voice of a detective. I look out the window at the city, my city. I remind myself what kind of place this is. Jestermere, the city of funny. But my experience is less funny, haha, and more funny as in, oh no. This night was no different. You know, they say life is a circus, but I never thought I would be the one stepping into the rings. There's been a silly string of clown killings, each more comedically criminal than the last. Some say they were all accidents, just a prank gone bad. But any joke could be deadly if you don't see the punchline coming. The local boys in blue had been looking into it. Like a blind man at a glory hole, they were taking a lot on faith. So they will call me Private Detective Willie J. Cox. Back in the day, I was a cop. The toughest the tough on crime. They called me Rockhard Cox. At least they did before I washed out of the force. Damnedest thing. You can shoot over 2,000 fleeing suspects in the back, and a medal on your chest call you a hero. You break into one foreign diplomat's house in the dead of night in the upper decker of their private bathroom toilet, and you all but run you out of town. Fucking liberals are ruining this country. That's how I found myself here in my office, waiting for the call. I knew it was coming. I needed this case. Case to put food on the table, rent in the bank, to pay off gambling debts. And by gambling debts, I mean child support. But more than all that, this case needed me. Needed me like a lost child in a shopping mall needs their mama. And I'm just the strange man in a trench coat to guide that lost child of justice home. The mother is also justice in this metaphor. So I wait for the call, because when a mystery needs to be penetrated, I'm just the private dick for the job.
The camera kind of pans just like a couple inches to the side. Standing on your desk is what looks like just like a clown version of a garden gnome. And the clown kind of just speaks up after your what you thought was an internal monologue. And he's like, "Oh gosh, that was a lot. I don't think there's going to be a call. I'm just here to pick you up. You should come with me. Great monologue, by the way." Kind of just waits for you to react, because it's just kind of like standing there off to the side as like just all this color, just a sudden splash basically on like the camera page.
Yeah, he's the only non-grayscale thing in my office. And somehow the glass filters out colored light. I take a swig from my trusty hip flask. This city's going to hell.
The Venice World Tour isn't until next month.
All right. I assume he gave me his name. I'm seeing it here on the handout.
Yeah, it's like he probably like came in and like introduced himself and was talking about like hiring you to investigate some murders at the college, and you just started your monologue.
Yeah, I fully stood up from my desk, turned my back to him, looked out the window. All right, Fiddly Fizz. Lay all the information on me.
Well, I'm just coming to come get you. The headmaster will come and he has us collecting a few other people to investigate these murders. I don't know if you can handle it all on your own. You are kind of a small-time dick, after all. He does this like thing where he kind of like pinches his fingers kind of close together.
I take a drag from my cigar, blow out smoke. The headmaster, huh? So this thing goes all the way to the top.
He just does the thing where, like, after you say top, he's like, "Oh, top," and he just like turns on his head and starts spinning like a top for a second. Kind of then does like a pose and waits for applause that you probably just don't give him.
No, I'm very much in my own world.
He just coughs. A handkerchief just kind of flies out of his hands. Like, maybe we should get a move on.
Lead the way, Professor.
And it is a very slow walk as he has very short, stubby legs.
Yep.
And started with you, since you seem to have the most concrete idea. Who would like to kind of set the scene of where their character is next?
I'm very proud of that blind man line.
Yeah.
If anyone needs some advice to kind of how set up their character's introduction, I can also help you as well.
I've got an idea kind of for Cope. You were kind of this out of place normal guy in this circus town, right?
No, he's the weirdo. His name's just Norm.
Oh, is he just also weird?
Yeah, he used to be Mr. Big Top, but now he's just normal because he lost all his ability to be a ringmaster because his wild magic started. The curse of the wild magic basically ruined his ability to do anything. So now he's a janitor.
All right. Well, ever since arriving on campus, Dizzy Dan has gotten himself a part-time job, though he knew that his origins would be discovered if he did it under his true name. So we cut to him sitting by the water cooler wearing the school security officer uniform. But it's not the Dizzy Dan that we see on his token there. It is instead a 5'3", chubby, bald dash who looks remarkably plain compared to the appearance on that token.
And you're just like sitting by the water cooler?
Yeah, he spends about 3 hours a day at work and then spends the rest of his time in his true persona, though never giving his real name, instead giving a clever alias, Dutsy Dan. By the way, when he signed up for this job, people just call him Daniel. Yeah, so he spends about 3 hours at work. He doesn't really stop anyone from doing anything. It's gotten to the point that he kind of just thinks they've got extra water in this cooler they need to get rid of. Because he stands in this spot and then paces about, maybe 20 feet down that hall. Looks down one end to the other, walks back, gets another cup of water. And about after 5 cups of water, he has to take a piss. And so he walks to the bathroom.
When you're on your way to your probably like third bathroom trip of the day, you're stopped by the school nurse, actually. But you know her by the name of Miriam Scarscale. I'll go ahead and show what she looks like.
What a lovely lady.
She's like, "Oh, hello there, Daniel. You're just the man I'm looking for."
I am?
Yes. Headmaster Shellstride has asked me to have you see him in his office. Apparently, there's something to do about some incident that happened in the school recently. I'm sure you heard about it. Terrible, terrible thing. Make sure I get the right one. It was the whole thing with the exploding seltzer bottle.
Yeah, the exploding seltzer bottle.
Yes, terrible, terrible thing.
Horrible.
Poor Jimmy Sprinkles. He didn't have a chance. I tried to get to him as fast as I could, but there was just
I know who that is.
Oh. Well, the headmaster wants to see you. I don't understand why, but do wish him a good day for me, if you don't mind. I have to go attend to the third glitter-related incident today. I don't know how they got that much glitter in those orifices. As she walks away and puts on a very
long rubber glove.
Yeah, he
That actually gives me an idea for mine.
down to, what was their name?
Headmaster Shellstride.
Yeah, waddle on down to Headmaster Shellstride.
Okay. And that'll kind of segue you into where Gombo's character is heading.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. So, guess I'll go then, because that gives me an idea.
Mhm.
So, over in the Menagerie Pavilion, towards the back, where the health of the animals is attended to, we cut into a small room containing what appears to be a teenage elf dressed in mostly dark colors and black, flowing black hair, yelling at a bear looking very remorseful, covered in about an inch of glitter. Rasputin, if you keep this up, it's going to be your turn to host the flea circus. I'm sure Spots will be happy with that, but she looks over on the shelf. You see a little combination of a goat, of a very large gopher with goat horns knocking stuff over. Secula, stop! She goes and picks it up. And will you behave? As for you, well, it's going to have to be a bath. Wash all that glitter off of you. Says, walking over to the bear, who doesn't look any more pleased about that. About that time, probably be a good point for someone to show up.
Yeah. As you're yelling at the bear, I just imagine you were using speak with animals or some kind of thing, and he's like, I just thought it was a bag of raspberries.
And if raspberries are gold.
Aww. But yeah, at around this time, you see the professor of animal care, Tilda Main. I'll go ahead and show you her as well.
Mm-hmm.
She's a half elf. She has sun-kissed skin, despite the picture. I couldn't really find a picture that I was kind of using for this. Her hands are more calloused than you would expect from a elven variety. She wears overalls that are only clipped on one side, while the other side is just kind of hanging in the back. She's accompanied by just a large cat that honestly acts more like a house cat than the tiger-sized cat that it is. As she enters, you see the cat just kind of hop on one of the desks and just start batting off different things. She's like, I wish you would stop that, Buttercup. Hello, Tesselara. It's been a while. You just came back to school, correct?
Yes. I took a few years off. What can I help you with, Professor?
I don't suppose you heard of any of the recent incidents. The exploding seltzer bottle, the unicycle protrusion.
Offhandedly, I haven't really kept up with the events. These suggestions to the bear are kind of being a handful recently. You leave for a few years and everything goes sideways.
Oh, more than you can know. So there's been some issues with some deaths in the college recently. We were looking for some people who hadn't been around to ask some questions. The headmaster would like to see you to ask you a few things. I've been kept out of the loop a little bit, but he was asking me to find somebody who hasn't been around recently.
Yes, he did imply I'd owe him a favor. Oh well. At least it's this.
I'll take care of the bear. We're going to use the most aggressive soap. As he just pulls out a giant soap bar that just has a picture on it that says Mean Green.
I hate to miss out on all the fun, but guess I shouldn't keep the headmaster waiting.
And it segues out to you walking down the hallway. And we have Cope or Loki who would like to go next.
I could go.
Okay.
Would this be his first day?
You could say, since you were like, it could be his first day, or it could be that they found you outside of the college because you're probably always trying to get accepted, but maybe you haven't yet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someone comes and finds you trying to like basically do street performances. You can do that, or maybe you got accepted, but you don't know why they suddenly accepted you all, and it's like your first day and you're ready to get started.
Okay.
However you want to do it.
I think his plan is to just throw himself in there and just blend in the best he can. Just, the best disguise, just acting like you belong there.
Oh, so you're just trying to like pretend to be a student until they think you are a student?
Exactly. It's yeah, pretty much. He definitely would have been one of many attempts to do so, and this is the time. And so as the students are kind of going around practicing the acrobatics, juggling, and the various trades that they specialized in, on the other side of the courtyard, Board has made the final adjustments to his entry stunt. Perched on the oversized seesaw that he threw together from what all intents and purposes seems like shipwreckage. The ropes, the pulleys, the just big waterlogged planks. Let's see. And on the opposite side, hovering above, is a towering stack of heavy weights, barrels, anvils, and basically the contents of the shipwreck. Precariously balanced, with just that single linchpin, just the only thing stopping from what he is intending to do. All right, let's see if I got the math right for this one. And he gives with a hard yank, the entire contraption comes tumbling down, sending the orc skyward in a that is marked in a sound. I'm bored. Students gasp and scatter as the airborne orc hurls towards the tightrope walker like a streaking comet. The unsuspecting acrobat turned just in time to see the muscular skybound orc careening towards them at a terrifying velocity. You could insert the Wilhelm scream at this point as they collide.
Unfortunately, I had the Wilhelm scream uploaded, but for some reason it deleted a bunch of my sounds, so I don't have everything at the hand.
Okay, we'll get that on the soundboard later. In a flail of bodies that they come tumbling down, the impact leads that cartoonish just billowing cloud of dust as everybody's wondering what's going on. As the dust settles, a few juggling pins roll across the courtyard, and pulling himself up, grinning ear to ear, despite the clear concussion that he should have received. Well, didn't actually stick the landing, but I reckon that's why I'm here, hey? Double thumbs up.
Yeah, you do the double thumbs up, and you hear from behind you, and you see behind you this portly dwarf, just full spandex, from head to toe. All you see is just this massive beard. His head is even covering his clearly balding head, as you just see a massive forehead of this dwarf. I already showed it last time we were like creating characters and stuff. Balthazar Flipwick, the performing arts professor, is just flipping over to you, and he does like a final flip as he's flipping in front of you. He does manage to get about 5 flips before he like sticks the landing, and then he does that arm raise to show that he like finished his performance. But as he raises his hands, everyone hears in the crowd a distinctive pop as he's like, ooh, and he kind of hunches back over. He's like, 1 second. Okay, I'm good. And he turns to you, he's like, Board, he counts on his fingers, the 4th year you've tried to sneak in.
Does that mean I'm accepted?
You know what? Yes.
Yeah!
Report to Headmaster Shellstride this instant. I think he could have use for you, and because of that, I feel like you could be accepted here today. But if you perform performances like that, you will not be getting any passing grade in my classroom, I'll have you know.
What'd I do wrong?
Well, first of all, the landing was just atrocious. Comedy was maybe a 6 out of 10. The landing, let's not even get started on the landing. And look at what you used to launch yourself. Is that a shipwreck in the middle of the school?
It was just lying around.
Okay, that tracks. But even so, the whole performance needs to be good. That was a 3 out of 10 setup. We'll work on it.
I look forward to seeing how my performance improves under your teachings.
He slaps his stomach as it jiggles, like, very well. I will make a acrobat out of you yet. And he points you off towards the headmaster's office.
And that classic, like, jump, kick his heels, and like pump his fists, freeze frame, and then
As everyone else around you continues moving.
Yeah,
Casting.
Meanwhile, they all look at the crater you made. You didn't realize you skip off that you actually landed on somebody. As poor Jimmy Juggles is lying there in a Yamcha pose in the crater that you made. I will actually go ahead and show you Jimmy Juggles, or halfling acrobatics major.
I
I
look
like him.
forward to him to be in my comedic relief to my comedic relief. The butt end of my bad luck.
Passing by that incident down the hallway, Dizzy Dan and his security guard in his design will look at a tiny speck of glitter on Board's cape and go, "You see, that's a problem with as a glitter-related incident now."
That's a problem with, and then you cut out.
Oh, I said that's the problem with reporting these things. You got to mark that as a glitter-related incident now.
And finally, Norm.
Norm is in the circus ring of Legacy. No one else is in there. It's completely dark. No torches are on, and he is in the middle of the center circle, the main ring, if you will. And he looks around. He's got a wooden bucket on the floor, a mop sticking out of it. He's holding the mop handle at the top, and he looks around. And then, with a booming voice from the darkness, you hear him say, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event." And he points up to the sky, and he casts a spell that puts a spotlight right down on him. And as soon as the spotlight comes out and the spell completes, there's a giant burst of confetti that erupts above him in a 15-foot radius that showers down upon him. But he doesn't let that stop him. He keeps on going. He casts another spell to have fireworks go up, and he says, "Tonight, your senses will be dazzled as the sensational..." The spell goes off, and again, suddenly his face becomes grotesquely painted in the style of a classic circus clown. He looks down into the water, sees the painting on his face, and starts to weep. And a single tear falls into the bucket, and then the bucket spits it out. Says, "That's disgusting. Pull yourself together, man." He just stands there weeping.
As you stand there weeping, you hear a gruff voice. I'm not really good at doing gruff voice, but I'll try my best. "Oi, what you doing over there, Norm?"
Good.
As you see the head custodian, Blimble Wobblegut, a aging goblin.
He sniffs up real quick, wipes his face, pulls out the mop, puts it down, says, "Just finishing up mopping here." And he looks down slowly as he's in the center ring, the circus tent, which is dirt.
Yeah, you see as he's approaching you, he has his hands behind his back, but you see his magical mop that he always has with him is like sweeping a path for him, trying to keep it clean as he walks. His janitor outfit is just immaculate, even though every other custodian in the college is always covered head to toe in either glitter, paint, different scarves, or poster board, or like confetti. His mop is determined to keep him spotless as it works. And he just like looks at you as like, you you'd be a much better custodian if you just let the past be in the past. I know that you yearn for the days of the stage. I yearn for the days of a cooperative bowel, but I'm not going to get that either.
Well, what goes around comes around.
Yeah, that's what the doctor told me last time he gave me pills, but that didn't do anything either. Listen, Mr. Shellstride wanted me to come fetch you. I assume it's to do something to do with cleaning his office. I know he doesn't let me in there last time my mop cleaned up all of his ink while he was trying to write. It's not my fault the fucker doesn't clean or write fast enough to have it dry before I get in there.
Can do. Lean down, pick up his bucket. Start heading that way.
As you leave, you see the head custodian, Blimble, just as he leaves with you, there's the one main exit, and as he leaves, he just turns like, ugh, as you see people having a water balloon fight, but instead of water in the balloons, it is just glitter as just puffs appear, and he's like, "You damn kids! Didn't I tell you that glitter was the herpes of craft supplies?" As he just starts running over there, you see the mop just like sprayed out like it's like crazy hair as it sticks out. It starts running with him to go clean up whatever mess that is left behind.
He would go ahead and pour out the remainder of the water in the bucket, make it lighter, and shoulder it on the back of the mop over his shoulder and head on to wherever the office is.
Mm-hmm. You all arrive at the office at different times as you're waiting at the door as the person who's the acting the acting secretary currently for Mr. Shellstride is actually the normally head lunch lady. As those of you who have been at the school frequently and recently know that the previous secretary is one of the unfortunate accidents that had happened in the previous incidents. But she's just a smaller halfling woman. Her name is Trinity Tumblespike. I'll go ahead and show you her as well. You all periodically come. She's like, thank you for coming. If you mind taking a seat over there, the headmaster will see you once everyone arrives.
I'm good. I have one at home.
You have a seat at home?
Yes.
Oh, take a seat. Oh, you're very witty. I like you. Here, have a pastry. She hands you a cinnamon roll.
Don't eat it. It'll turn you photorealistic. That's what happened to all the people behind her.
Yeah, I realize I didn't describe what Willie J. Cox looks like. We talked about it before, but not for the sake of the recording. So half orc, gray skin, with only blue eyes, but he is wearing, film noir, trench coat, fedora, suit, tie, but it's all in shades of black, white, and gray. So he looks grayscale in a world full of color.
So when I assume you don't take the cinnamon roll.
You being
he takes a black and white cookie.
You being grayscale in this clown country, along with the fact that you called them liberals earlier, made the GM and me now imagine that there is a more conservative culture of mimes that also live in Jestermere.
He probably gets along great with the mimes because they don't talk back to him.
Yeah. I come from mime country. Mm-hmm. We have very strong opinions, but we like to keep it silent.
So
now I just picture
in the world without voices, the one with the monologue.
All I picture is Investigator Cox over here.
That entire wall routine, that's them wanting to build a wall.
I just picture a King of the Hill style lineup of Willie J. Cox with three mimes just all sharing a drink, but they're all drinking an invisible glass, and they just hand it to Willie. And I just picture you taking it seriously.
Mm.
But yeah, so you're all eventually kind of grouped up as you're all very, like, even for like the circus college, you're a very unique bunch. A janitor, a detective, a seemingly failed student multiple times over, a goth elf, and what seems to be just like a normal security guard at the moment.
Dollar Store Village people.
It's like, the lunch lady is like, well, it seems like you're all here. I'll go bring you in. She brings out a crystal and like pushes on it, and it turns like a shade of red. Mr. Shellstride, the group of individuals you were waiting for are all here to see you. She kind of waits for a moment, and you hear through the crystals like, yes, send them in, please. As she jumps off the chair, saunters over to the door and has to reach up to open it. It's like, he will see you now, everyone.
Right in.
As you all begin to file in, it is a very cozy office. All manners of different collectibles and everything. As you see sitting at the table, a turtle sitting at his desk. I will go ahead and show you Turvin Shellstride.
Respect
Clearly
looking
AI
gentleman.
generated.
Yep.
Look at those eyes and those misplaced nostrils.
Concept.
Horrible boating accident.
Unfortunate, I know.
It was a
And-
straw.
I see why he was left out of the other
It
four.
was a straw.
Oh God. Oh.
Like, as you come in, he's like, "Hello, everyone. If you don't mind shutting the door, I have something privately to speak with you all." Yes.
All right, this guy did it.
In my head, no matter how or where the camera cuts to, Cycle is just somehow in the background.
What is in the background?
The little goat for
Oh,
Secular.
okay.
Oh yeah.
It's like if you watch old episodes of Dragon, weird shit in the background. That's what that thing is doing.
But I imagine somebody eventually closes the door as he makes no effort to try to get up.
Mhm.
He has like a very like judge-looking robe, but is covered with like patchwork pins and badges from different performances. You see against the wall his walking staff is topped with a spinning jester's hat. It's like, oh, hold on. Phone work time.
You're good.
Fun.
It's always people trying to sell us something or like scam calls, so never
Yeah.
important.
Might as well get some party interaction in the meanwhile, like rewind back to the meeting room. So come in and see Willie sitting there like, oh, I like your hat. Who are you?
Private Detective Willie J. Cock called in to bust this thing wide open.
Okay. The accidents?
When you say the accident, the security guard visibly like lets out a sigh of relief.
Board does stiffen up at the notion of an accident, though.
And then he sneezes and it makes a honking noise, to which he tries to cover up.
Oh, and aren't you the guy that was juggling cats last year?
Who?
You.
Oh. I don't remember if I was juggling cats, but probably. Seems like the least dangerous thing that I could have done. Yes,
Those
I'm bored.
Cats were quite traumatized.
Yeah, they're doing just fine. Don't need to worry about it.
They were just street cats anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they came to me really. You know, they're just laying around, and gotta make do with what you have. You know, knives. I mean, what's more dangerous to juggle, knives or cats? Really?
You hear the lunch lady in the background. Cats.
See, she gets it.
You see her just kind of like write on a piece of paper and fold it and like put it on the desk she's at that says no cats. I'm allergic.
Is that a cat? And Board would point to Secula.
Kind of worse. It's a goat fur.
What's a goat fur?
About 350.
But let me see. Do I have that one? Nah, I don't.
No.
How big
Yeah,
do you
that
say
so
it
many of my
was?
sounds.
Cat-sized.
Okay.
Large badger.
Looking over, I imagine at this point Norm would walk in, Board. Norm!
Lord, what are you doing in here? Did you have another accident?
No, they accepted me. I knew it. I told you it was only a matter of time. See, I could do it. You're next, buddy, and I'm here for it.
Thanks, Board. Are you sure they really accepted you?
He said it.
Understand.
He said it. He said this is the fourth time I tried sneaking in. I said, does that mean I'm in? He said, sure. You should go speak with the headmaster.
Fourth time's the charm, then.
That's right.
I'm just here going to, I think, clean the headmaster's office. Not like anything I used to do. And he just walks on past the group, heading to the door.
One step towards opportunity, and he, as you kind of walk by, a guy give you a pat on the back that might make you stumble a bit.
Yeah, he tips over a little bit, or one step down the ladder.
Nowhere to go but up.
And then it flashes back to the office as the headmaster was greeting you all, but then he kind of fell asleep halfway through his introduction. And one of you has to kind of go shake him awake. He's like, huh?
As
Oh,
Norm is,
hello.
Norm's mopping around him, he bumps him awake.
Oh, thank you for that. I didn't mean to spill that coffee. It happened. Oh, and he looks at his arm like he has a watch, but he doesn't. Happened past Sunday. What are you all doing in here? Oh, yes, the murders.
I knew it. It's close.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, there was a string of murders in this college, but it's all very hush hush. I probably shouldn't keep saying murders that way, but it's just so fun to say.
Puts a good emphasis on
Murders.
it.
He did it. He did it.
I
It is
couldn't
my
Put a
have
finger
done
at
it.
him.
Yeah. It is
I
my
couldn't have
third
done
favorite
it.
word.
I am too slow to commit murders. But yes, there was a couple key incidents that kind of cemented the fact that the accidents that happen on the campus aren't all accidents. There was the unfortunate unicycle piping. Ooh, the amount of glitter that came out of that man's mouth. Ooh. I won't speak more of that. But there was also the exploding seltzer bottle. There was a performance that was supposed to be catch on fire, get sprayed out with the seltzer bottles, but the seltzer bottles were filled with gasoline.
That
Sounds
sounds
uncle
like
to that.
sabotage.
Yes. We're thinking someone might be involved with either revenge killings, killing competition. We're not quite sure what the motive is, but these are clearly set up. We found some instances of tampering. He pulls out what was the unicycle, and he's like, "See," as he pushes down the seat, and you just see a pipe that comes out of where the person would sit.
Oh. Oh.
Yes.
Question.
Unfortunate.
That's a cursed
Question.
item if I've ever seen one.
Is that Peter Griffin still a student here?
No, he kept cutting away till eventually he just kind of stopped showing up.
Okay, because he always said that he would risk his family's life for physical comedy.
I know that name. They pulled him out of the river a year and a half ago.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's witness to a jump cut in their brain of a body being pulled out of a river, honking the entire time. And then it cuts back to the office, and you all are vividly aware of the cutoff. Like, I
Unfortunate.
didn't miss that happening. But yes, I asked some of the staff to procure some people that might help with the investigation. Norm, you're everywhere around the campus as a janitor, and you weren't at any of the scenes of the crimes, so we assumed you were safe to bring on.
I'm sorry. Do you not just want me to clean your office? Do you want me to leave right now? What are you saying to me?
No, I want you to stay here. I am utilizing you in the investigation of the murders.
At this point, Board would like look over and like give you a big thumbs up and a grin.
No, I know that you've had some bad opportunities beset you in the recent years, but if you help me with this, I can at least help land you a part-time job at a minor showing of the college. It might be at least get you a foot back in the door.
Minor. Fine. It's better than this.
Yes. And Board, I know you're not usually the quality of student that a lot of the acrobatic teachers like, but I think you're quite amusing.
Thank you, sir.
And since you were not anywhere near the campus when it happened, you couldn't possibly be involved.
Plus,
so,
I think it's safe to say that I'm nowhere near that subtle.
Yes, very much so. Tassalara, you just came back, so it couldn't possibly be you.
And never.
Daniel, you, I don't think, have worked an honest day's work since you've been hired. So
Thank
the
you,
fact
sir.
that you would be involved in watching security is just silly. And Mr. Cox, your names are funny and it works well. So we hired you.
I can't take credit. My parents were involved in that.
Yes, but you're the one that chose with that name to become the private dick. And that is just wonderful.
Damn city chose for me. Big Draco cigar. Also, you make jokes about Dizzy Dan never doing an honest day's work in life while he's innocent, but that's a real thing. I know someone who's a CPA and he used to do like audits for the government. And he said it's the guy who always shows up late to work is always innocent. The guy who's like a total slacker, he's like, nah, that guy's not embezzling.
I mean, that follows.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, why would you try to make it obvious?
Yeah, no, it says it's the guy who does overtime without pay that's embezzling.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who takes an hour and a half lunch is clean.
Because they barely want to be there as is, but they're not gonna like get fired.
They're getting their bonuses elsewhere.
Yeah,
You know,
if they're gonna get
hitting
fired,
the
they're gonna get
downtime.
fired for a stupid reason, so they could either sue or collect unemployment.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
On that, have
Pepper
you guys ever
was
seen
from the Shell Stride?
Have you guys ever seen that video of the guy who's like, I've never held down a job for more than 5 months. I get there and I bring a notepad and I write down everything they do, and then I sue them.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep. Mhm.
I've had that thought.
Yep. But yeah, he continues like, if you can help figure out where these murders are coming from without letting the students and faculty know, it would be much appreciated. I unfortunately do not want to get the full investigation of the law enforcement involved unless I have to. Cops, am I right? As he kind of like holds up his like turtle fist to have someone try to bump him.
Yep.
Board will go for it.
I take a drag him off his cigar, stare out the window, and say, "Yeah, cops." And I switch to internal monologue mode. So this is what the case is. And I'm saddled with 4 rookies who don't know the first thing about solving crimes. Much like the lunch lady cinnamon roll, the situation is getting sticky and rapidly spiraling out of control. As I said before, it's entirely up to you guys when that's in or out of character. That's not me.
I would so want that to be spoken out loud. I just love it. And right there with the music, Richard, I mean, thank you. I love it. So good.
I'm going to try to have that on hand whenever he starts monologuing just to push the play button on that.
Absolutely.
That's around our reaction to your external monologue. Yes, just giving you a look like, who is this guy? And when it cuts back to your secular sitting on top of your hat.
All right. If I'm going to be doing this investigation, then I'm going to be doing it my way, which means with both hands on the desk, leaning in the headmaster, we got to do this one straight. So, first things first. Did you kill them?
No, I would never commit murders.
All right. Step 1 done. We're narrowing down the suspects. Second
That I
question.
can actually help you with. There are some people that have been in the scene of every incident. I could. Here, hold on. And he like rummages through his desk very slowly. Like picture the fucking sloths
Sloth.
in
Yeah.
Zootopia, yeah.
Mhm.
Just like going really slow. It's like, oh yes, here it is. And he has a list of the faculty that were there. Balthasar Flipwick was there, Tilda Main, Flummery, Figglefizz, Trinity Chumblespike, Miriam Scarscale, Blimble, Wobblegut, they were all there. In addition, there is a group of students that were present each time. Jimmy Juggles is one of them. He hands you a paper of the other students. There is Squeaky, the kobold. Show you that one.
Mm-hmm.
There's our star student that was there, Zara Zirkus.
Yeah,
Human
it's
woman.
definitely her.
There's her competing for the top spot in the college, Dante Sharp, the daredevil. Show you that one.
Couldn't have been him.
There is a woman by the name of Trixie Tumblepuff. Revealed that, a halfling woman. Which, by the way, I'm going to make a handout for you guys to take notes.
Thank you.
I forgot to do that, but I'll do that now because as you go, you'll probably want that. The only other person that was there every other time was he's a student that got in on a scholarship. His name is Binky Boinkerson. And I'll show you that one.
Mm-hmm.
He's known for very chaotic, over-the-top comedy. I can't imagine any of them would commit murder, but
No, I'm just imagining
some of them.
I'm just imagining he sounds like Shane Gillis now.
I can't remember who Shane Gillis is now. I have to look that up.
You'll probably recognize
Oh
him.
yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It
kind
is
of
canon
dressed
now.
like him
I
a
can't do
little
that voice, but it is canon. Those are all of the ones that I know there for sure. Though there could be anybody. Could even be me, but it couldn't be me. I would never.
Because you'd never murder.
I would never murder. As he kind of just like smiles a big turtle smile.
Are you playing a lightning sound effect every time you say that?
No, that's just me. Sorry. I felt like I
Or
had
just
to
holding a
outbounds.
metal sheet every time.
Yeah.
The piano is me, though.
Yes. But if you have any questions during your investigation, you can always come to me. I am very helpful. I am very helpful.
We're very full of help and sleep.
But then he kind of like shakes himself and goes, "Oh yes, who are you all? Oh yes, you're gonna help me solve the murders." But yeah, he kind of like works with you all. Like Willie, he kind of gets you and like it's like talks to you about going undercover as leading an elective class, and it kind of varies. I imagine everyone else volunteers him for the monologue class.
Yeah.
More than him.
Daniel, sitting off in the corner, starts reading the lunch menu for today, and he goes, the red herring again."
I know, but we got so much in surplus. Listen, if you can catch any fish other than the red herring, I'll be proud to have that on the menu.
It's one of the few things that doesn't, erupt into a food fight.
Yes, who wants to smell of fish? Meanwhile, some guy with a fish head walks by. Like he's just a man just has a fish's head for a head.
You think he's weird? You should see the mermaid trapeze artist.
Yeah. If you have any questions for him, he'll answer anything you ask. But otherwise, he kind of like gets you all set up to begin the college year because it is basically the first week of college.
So there's been exactly 2 murders so far, right?
That we can confirm were clearly murders. There have been many deaths, but comedy is a very dangerous art form. I mean, there's only so many times you can fire somebody out of a cannon before they go explode.
Makes sense. Not everyone can resist the sweet, seductive siren song. Just feeling the gun kick back in your hands and watching the light fade from someone's eyes. That moment of shock and horror. Wonder if that is how their story ends.
Sounds nice. But no, that
better
would be
than a little
murder.
blue pill, I'll tell you that. Anyway.
But yes, they get you kind of set up. Norm, you're given a little bit more free reign to clean as you will, rather than be on a set schedule like you normally are to kind of like help investigate. Dizzy Dan, you probably you're a security guard, so you can kind of just do whatever you will anyway.
So
Board, you're giving like a curriculum as well as Tassalara to kind of like investigate in between your classes.
Do we know who's in charge of the props department?
The props department. So that's actually a tricky question. When you ask him that, he's like, well, each of the professors are usually in charge of their own departments, props and gags. There are very many performances that happen just about every day. Students perform all sorts of manners. Each one of these deaths weren't an event that just were performed by the school. They happen just kind of spur of the moment. It's why it's kind of hard to pin down motive or who could have done it.
Okay. As someone with experience, let me tell you exactly how this works. So yeah, they each got their own props, and then they got this shitty little label taped onto them that says Balthazar Flipwick's classroom. And you're technically not supposed to take anything and move them from the other classrooms to each other, but people do it all the time anyways.
I mean,
Damn
Michael, that sounds a
students.
little too real, but that's very accurate from any time
Yeah.
I remember being in school. So,
Well, where did the first murder happen?
the first murder that we confirmed was the excuse me, was the exploding seltzer bottle. That happened over in the circus, not circus ring, the Central Plaza. And the unicycle incident happened in the Tower of Tumbles because they were on the unicycle on the I can't. It's not the trapeze;
Tightrope?
it's the line. What's up?
Tightrope.
Tightrope.
Yeah.
It was happened while they were mid tightrope. So
Mhm.
picture mid tightrope. Suddenly their seat just kind of falls down a little bit, and you just see all the crowd just saw a eruption of glitter out of the guy's throat before they fell off of the tightrope. So
You said that was the Tower of Tumbles? What that was?
yes, specifically the vaulting hall of the Tower of Tumbles.
Well, Dick, which one do we investigate first?
What'd you call me?
It's not Richard.
That's the
But
fastest I heard him talk yet.
my name's not Richard. But perhaps we should look into the Giggle Workshop. If I'm reading this pamphlet correctly.
They are both prop places. Good to start.
Giggle Works Workshop.
Yes. But just so you know, you do have to maintain the semblance of the school while you're investigating. We don't want anyone to panic or alert the murderers that you might be watching. As he kind of just looks at you all with a big grin. Clearly enjoying himself too much.
Pass
But
this
yeah.
up from a
And you're
growing
100% that
pile
you
of-
weren't lying about not being the murderer.
I would never murder. I mean, it sounds delightful, but I would never do it.
A little accidental manslaughter on the weekend with the boys when you're a couple drinks deep.
No, I don't hang out with boys. I hang out with turtles. Silly. You can roll me an insight check if you want.
Sure.
I'm in.
Oh yeah, I forgot about skills.
Yeah.
I imagine Bard will look
Oh.
over his
Hold on.
class. Okay.
Eye for deceit. If I should get a 7. Okay, yeah, so that's 12. So I can't roll lower than an 8.
Nice. Yeah, he seems like he's telling the truth. Just hangs out with turtles on the weekend. But yeah, it does kind of revolve into like him explaining like keeping up appearances of the school without like alerting people. So you have to keep your investigations under wrap while you're doing it.
Mhm.
So that's when it breaks down into you have the multiple parts of each day, classes and campus life, the investigation, interactions and interrogations, and ends with confrontations or stakeouts if you wish to do any of those. Not every day is going to have all 4 parts because some days you might not need to stake somebody out. Some days you might need to you might not need to talk to somebody.
Wait,
But
where's that?
generally, that's the breakdown.
Where's that breakdown listed?
I don't have it written down, but because I
okay.
have it in with my personal notes, I don't.
I
remember
gotcha.
the stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. I just want to make
post
sure I
that.
was doing the flow of things correctly.
I'll post like the lines of it in here real quick. Just give me a second because I have to.
Yeah. Or it'll say, well, I could probably make some use of the Google Shops workshop. I play of the stuff for my stunts are crafted, so I could use that as an excuse to go there.
Yes. I imagine you could have a minor in clowning while you take a major in acrobatics. As he kind of looks over at Board, he's like, "Were you the one that hurt poor what's his name? Jimmy Juggles earlier? I got an alert about someone being in a compromising crushing incident."
I mean, I don't know who or what. I was just doing a stunt. I don't.
Lovely. Well, you'll fit right in this campus. I hope you do well.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. If there's no other questions, we will. That basically is the time for the intro card. So I will play.
Well, real quick, Board will, as they're walking out, Board will say, "Not to worry. Board, the gumshoe will get this done," and like reach down and like scrapes the gum off the base of his shoe and walk out.
And then the title of the game appears on the above everybody. Big Top, Big Trouble, as the college anthem begins to play from the courtyard, and I will go ahead and play that real quick for us.
As Norm mops his way out, leaving behind.
Of education, we learn skills with pure
That's
elation.
realizing everyone's
Juggling
left to
dreams
accept from
and
the
clowning schemes
pile of
at
precariously balanced
CCS,
pins on
where
the dean's
we
desk.
chase beams.
And turns to leave as Secular knocks it over.
Tightrope walkers,
Well,
balance books.
If it's all the same to you guys, I'm a little parched, so I'm gonna go get some water.
Yeah, that's fine. We can take a break and get.
No, that was in character. Remember?
Oh,
It's always my
okay.
water cooler.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's funny.
We're all just fear the show.
No, I actually need to get up and get water.
With glitter hearts and
That's funny.
sparkling brains, we twirl and laugh through study pain.
So,
Sparkling brain.
it's clearly AI generated, but
Yeah.
it worked out pretty well for what I was
Our
on.
professors in clown shoes glide, teaching theory from ringside. Physics done with cannonballs. math
Clown
equations
theory.
on acrobatic
Physics done with cannonball.
Intense we
I think it's just called war.
under moon's embrace, glitter paint dusting our face.
Military
Minds of
science.
sight, Shakespearean art, while lions roar in the heart. We study laughter, we study.
No, I just read that part of One Piece. Weapons are bad or whatever.
Every subject is a fun sphere. From juggling clubs to history.
Could be worse. We could be in one of the Scholar Prodigum from Warhammer 40k, the only schools where students are executed for cowardice.
No, I think that can happen here too.
Yeah, Sparta.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off there because that's pretty much the end of the lines of it.
Mhm.
Tightrope. You look behind you. You've got a gun pointed at your head. I said walk the tightrope.
But this kind of opens us up into the game proper.
Mhm.
Like I said, each day is broken down between different parts. So the first part is the morning classes and campus life.
Mhm.
So this is where your characters would introduce how they're going about their student life, whether it be like interacting with NPCs in your particular classes,
Mhm.
or like taking like stock of people who join, like for instance, like people who join the elective that Willie is going undercover as.
Mhm.
Different things that might happen in the campus life itself. This is more of the part where you flavor what you're doing during the day rather than things happening mechanically.
Mhm.
So this is you guys opening up to your interpretation of how your campus life is going in it. So if you don't have anything to really add other than you go to class and interact with somebody, or if you just kind of sit in class and kind of listen to the lecture, you can just tell me that. But it's no like stakes involved in this part really.
I think Board would approach his classes with genuine high enthusiasm and just kind of like over asking, like, you know, the very like somebody's first day in Wizard College, right? It's like, oh my God, there's so much cool stuff. So kind of as he's kind of doing that, he's, you know, basically like, for example, and just kind of investigating through learning as much as he can. And, you know, I guess like, for example, in the like workshop, you know, just kind of, you know, as he's learning about, you know, just constantly asking all the questions about how this works and what does this do, it kind of also gives insights of who might be able to, you know, would this be the stuff that could be, is the stuff here able to make that unicycle trick or the seltzer swap sort of thing?
Gotcha. So that's also a good way to segue. Technically, like I have it broken down in different parts to make it easier for like the gameplay wise, but some of this is also probably taking place in sequence, not in sequence. Like your class, like the performance parts, like where you're going to class and stuff. That and the investigations are pretty much like they could happen at different times in the day. It doesn't necessarily happen in order of the breakdown. So like say like you just described, like you're also like you're going through and looking at all the props and you're looking to see if they could be made there. That could lead you to, when we get to part 2, that could be your investigation, for instance.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, but I guess to answer the question, yeah, Board is going to be all about wanting to learn all that there is.
Yeah. During your acrobatics class, you're forced up onto the tightrope as Balthazar is like determined to try to get you to balance a little bit to make your stunts a little bit more practical and not just always crashing down. As you're getting on, he's like, "Don't worry, if you fall off the tightrope, it's just gravity giving you a handstand."
Me and Gravity are best buds. I ain't afraid of falling.
Cue you immediately falling
Whee!
with a loud thunk on the ground. Ooh. Is that,
Jimmy
you just hear
Juggles,
the
look
big belly-
out!
You hear the big belly laugh of Flipwick as he just gets you up. It's like, decent fall, but try to at least get
have
more than
a
a foot
close
next
up
time.
on Jimmy. We have a close up on Jimmy Juggles, and now he's got a cast, and he's walking with a crutch, and then the shadow just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
As you see Jimmy Jones be like, "Oh no, not again!" As he just gets crushed by Board again.
He's gonna be my cabbage guy.
By the way, just to make it easier for me, if you guys could change your names in game to match your
Oh,
characters.
yeah.
I know Loki already did it, but I'm like, that just helps me a little bit. Also, I am the Clown Master, not the Dungeon Master this time. But yes, your repeated destruction of Jimmy Juggles continues.
At a certain point, he's just the one getting in the way.
At what point does it stop being your fault and start being his fault?
Right.
Stop catching my body with your broken bones.
Listen, he's just trying to juggle, man. What
Wait,
about everyone else?
And Board's the one with the bad luck magnet?
Who's to say
Well,
he
the
doesn't
way-
have bad luck magnet too?
Yeah, the way bad luck magnet works is that it basically, you know, I am bad luck, but it's typically the people around me that suffer
It
from
magnetizes to each other, okay?
it. Yeah.
What about everyone else? What is everyone else's campus life going for them at the beginning?
That's probably back to Board resignation in the lecture portion. If any of the mentioned people were in that class, you might eventually try to get closer to them. But at the moment, the lecture is boring and the applied part is more interesting, but the animals are frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Despite like it being a clown college, the animal husbandry part of the college is rather dry in terms of production value. It's a lot of like actual like just how to care for these animals and how to actually train with them without actually hurting them. Um, every now and then interrupted by the Tilda Main and trying to introduce her drier sense of humor. It's a lot of like she makes a joke and the whole kind of class is quiet because she's just not very good at the actual joke parts, and all she can do is kind of chuckle to herself at that point and continue on with the lecture. But the actual animal care, Trixie Tumblepuff is part of that one a lot. You see her more than any of the other students of the NPCs that are on the list. You do see Squeaky as well, though it doesn't seem to be his major.
Yeah, I want to find him. Sounds like a squealer.
You do need to get the grease.
How's Willie J. Cox's elective going? I'll let you
So-
decide how many people signed up, how it's doing, however you want to flavor it.
How he teaches it is he probably is one of those professors that arrives 10 minutes after everyone else has found into the lecture hall. And he comes in, he takes off his trench coat, he puts it over the desk, and he walks over to the window, takes a swig of his glass bottle marked with 3 X's, turns that to his pocket, another drag from his cigar, and he goes into monologue mode. So there I was, back in the classroom. Never had much need for schooling where I grew up, the bad side of Mine Town. Back then, everything was just so much more black and white. Now it's just shades of gray. I don't know what I'm going to be able to teach these kids. If I can impart upon the realities of the world. Do we have anything in common? No, I don't think so. The mines where I grew up, it was just silent screams. Now lost to time. Another big drag of the cigar. Once again, entirely up to you if this is out loud or not, but he does that for a solid 20 minutes.
So scanning the crowd as you eventually complete your monologue. The crowd's not large. It is an elective, and it's probably not like the most like sought after one. But there are 2 particular ones you recognize of Zara Zirkus and Dante Sharp are both very determined to take full notes of your monologue. And you see them just like glaring daggers at each other before returning to like scribble out more of what you were saying.
All right, let's find our motivation. Who here has ever thought about or has killed someone?
Define someone.
You see the Zara Zirkus kind of raise her hand like, does wanting to kill their career count?
No, nor does autonomes. Write this down in your books. Robots aren't people.
Dante raises his hand. Does killing their hopes and dreams count?
Philosophically, but I'm not into that.
And no one else seems to raise their hands. They're like looking side to side and kind of looking back at you, and then looking at the 2 that are actually like participating in the class. They're like, man, we just thought this was going to be an easy A.
So today, if we want to move on
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
combos,
move on.
Yeah.
It's mainly just gags over here.
So today, Daniel's gonna call in sick for work, but instead, Dizzy Dan is going to spell. In the specific wording of the spell, I want to say, you decide what you look like, lists basically every characteristic of you, and then you can make yourself a member as a member of another race, though none of your statistics change, and you can't appear as a creature of a different size. And your basic shape stays the same, but basically if you're bipedal, you can't become quadrupedal, right? So I'm going to become a circus chimp, and I'm going to try and spy on people.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll get to that in the investigation portion then. Because that's a good one to integrate into the investigation. If you haven't noticed, a lot of this is going to kind of like flow, not like
Oh yeah.
orderly. So this is
Yeah.
just kind of like a mindset to have to like kind of like get the investigations kind of going and flowing.
Mhm. So-
Norm, what are you doing for the?
So Norm's going to spend most of the day in the halls, or do we have halls?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going.
Because
to be,
there's buildings too. It's just there's like a main circus tent that's like makes up the center of the
the
college.
performance area. Yeah.
Yeah.
So around the classrooms, he's going to be cleaning. Janitors are basically invisible. He's invisible to everybody except for Board at this point. So every now and then he will actually use his invisibility spell. He's going to be dropping eaves, trying to listen to the kids or the students talking, hearing what he can gather as far as gossip, who holds grudges on who, etc., who's competing with who, etc. And then when the students are in class, he's going to start going through lockers.
Nice. Okay, we'll get
It's
to
going
those.
to get messy. Clown lockers.
You're going to
Imagine
get hit
a
with so many pies.
A lot of pies, a lot of boxing gloves.
Snakes.
It's going to be rough.
Yep.
Paper snakes.
Okay, so
Real
in,
snakes.
so the investigation portion. I'll go ahead and start with Board since you
Glitter
wanted
bombs.
to investigate the what's it called? The Giggle Shot workshop.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were looking to see if they could have been possibly sabotaged or like made there or whatever.
Mm.
So go ahead and roll me an investigation or perception.
Not sure why.
It shouldn't have been an advantage, but either way, that was 20.
I'm not sure why it did. That.
Well, you don't see the stuff that could have been used for the unicycle. Other than, there's glitter everywhere, so there's clearly glitter here.
Mm.
You do see a lot of like different bottles of seltzer bottles that are either empty, partially filled, fully filled. That could have been. It could have come from here.
Any
you
sense of
see-
like gasoline or anything like that?
Yeah, you would see a couple like not in the seltzer bottles themselves,
Mm.
but they do have like different things that smell of different types of gas. There's like paint thinners.
Mm.
There's different liquids that are used to clean or mix with different things that to make like pyrotechnics and such.
Mhm.
So it's very much like the exploding seltzer bottle could have been crafted here.
Mhm.
You don't see anything in particular that like confirms it, but it's very much like, yeah, this could be a place that could be used to craft different things like that.
Mhm. Okay. Do I recognize of any of the listed students, any of them that are at least in the workshop with me?
When you were like going through the place, you would probably see Squeaky there. He's just this like diminutive kobold, bright orange scales with a perpetual wide toothy grin. You see he has oversized clown shoes that squeak loudly with every step, obviously earning him the nickname.
Hmm.
He has tattered polka dot pants that look like 2 sizes too big that are held up by just 2 suspenders. You see him keep trying to put on a red clown nose, but it doesn't stay on him because it is not built for a kobold's face. You see his comically large mallet that looks twice his size, that looks like it's painted with a large bright stripe with the word bonk scrawled on the side.
Mhm.
He seems to be in the process of trying to honestly probably try to make a clown nose that fits his snout.
I think Board would approach him as he's kind of focused on task. And yeah, he'd just approach, and as he's focused on task, you'd just hear from over his shoulder, "I'm bored."
As soon as he says that, you just hear ah! As he just looks over at you, is like looks like wide-eyed, like dinner-sized plate pupils, just like as he looks up at you. I'm Squeaky. Why are you bored? This is Clown. Hi.
Yeah,
He's like very
yeah.
nervous.
What you working on? This is my first day at school here, and so I'm hoping to make some friends, and some people will show me the ropes. You seem to be working on something. I was wondering if I could help or get to know you. Hi, I'm bored.
Oh, you're bored. Your name is Bored. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I'm Bored the Barbarian.
That's great. I love it. My name's Squeaky. I'm not very good at jokes. I try though.
Yeah, we all have our strengths. What's your strengths?
I got a mallet. He hits you with it and it bonks. Like,
Yeah.
bonk.
I like that. That's a fun.
I'm trying to make a nose that can stick to my snout without having to use glue. Every time I use glue, it peels back my scales.
Yeah, that doesn't sound comfortable. Might be able to help you. I don't know too much of chemistry, but I'm good at rigging stuff together, if nothing else. I imagine we could, skip a little bit, but
Yeah.
a little bit of time of Board just kind of building that association familiarity and just seeing if he could, just lay the groundwork to,
And
Right.
while I don't have any jokes planned for him,
Mm.
Squeaky does seem genuinely funny, but his jokes mostly are like self-depreciation jokes
Mhm.
and like nervous, like tics, kind of like joking. He very much looks like he has like stage fright all the time when he's talking to anybody.
and Board is just gregarious as hell. Just don't worry, I'll be the extrovert. Yeah, I'll adopt you, introvert. Let me see. I think as they're kind of hanging out, Board would just kind of like, hey, what do you know? Like, are there any people here to keep an eye out for? What, tell me the cliques. Tell me, who are the
Like-
good people? Who do you like to hang out with? Who do you avoid?
Avoid everybody. I do kind of like Binky though. He seems nice.
Do you know about Vinky? Like, is he? Are you guys friends?
I don't really have many friends, but he seems nice. He's very there,
Where?
right there. And he points behind you, and you just see Binky like behind you.
Oh, Board would just wave
Hi.
its direction.
My name's Binky.
Hi, Binky, I'm Bored.
I like it. You want to go get shot out of a cannon?
Hell yeah, I do.
And you and Binky just skip off to get fired out of a cannon. That's all the interaction Binky has with you.
Right.
Man, I can't wait to beat the shit out of Squeaky.
Okay.
I'm still
who
waiting
wants to
for
investigate
Clyde.
something next?
I would like to do mine next at the end of my class.
Gotcha. Go for it.
I say, all right. So, best monologues from a place of deep truth and suffering. The dark secrets that people don't want to have come boil up to the surface. So what I want you to do for homework is to go out on campus and survey the other students and learn their deep, dark secrets and come back here and give me a monologue about it.
Yeah, delegation.
I love it.
Give me a persuasion for that.
Not my worst skill.
as you're trying to convince them to do your work for you.
15.
Okay, that will come back later because that is a ongoing investigation that you're utilizing them
That
for.
is fantastic.
So currently there's no result for that, but I will get back to you on that.
Oh yeah,
because,
yeah.
yeah. It seems like something that's going to be have a.
I'm
pause to
weaponizing
it.
the students into a surveillance state.
Oh, Jesus Christ! They're all about being gay. It's 2025. No one cares.
Yeah, turns out like 90% of them are just in the closet, and that solves a bunch of issues.
And have you seen the closets around here? There's like 90 clowns that come out of there every time you open a door.
In their tiny little closets.
God, it's like the entire student body's doing 1 hour in paradise or something.
Okay. Well, no results for that currently, but who would like to do their investigation next? Norm, I know you were trying to like listen for, or Dizzy Dan, whichever one you want to go first, or Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
don't
just
know if
listening
the
in on people
investigation-
as we.
Yeah, I don't know if the investigation for Norm would be listening or going through the lockers.
Which one would you like to do first then? Because I think Dizzy Dan's also listening, so you can both
Yeah,
do
let's
that,
do
or you can
lockers.
lockers. Roll me an investigation.
Well, I found an
Ooh.
AK-47, but nothing suspicious.
Well, 21 was the first. I don't know why I'm on.
It's just auto sets it to that for some reason.
Huh.
You have to like go to your settings on your character
Yeah,
sheet. and turn that off.
always roll advantage.
I don't
That's
know
a
why
nice
it has that
choice.
set to default.
Yep. All right.
So let me check. something.
21 investigation.
21 investigation. So roll me a not a D20, D100.
E100. Murder.
Murder. 23.
If this were me, I would make him find a gun in the locker, but then whenever they would go on to thinking that the murderer is whoever has that locker, and then whenever they pull the trigger, it would just have a stick that says bang.
Bang. We'll eventually get there.
So you investigate a few different lockers. First one you open, you actually have to fall down because you open the locker of the strongman of campus, and you just
Oof.
get assaulted by like a bunch
The
of
giant
dumbbells
barbell.
and cymbals that kind of fall on top of you. Next one you open, you think like 12 doves come out of it. You can't really get an accurate count because they just flutter in your face and fly away.
I know that's dove shit I'm going to have to clean up.
Third one, bunch of glitter. Just
That's
everywhere.
He stands there, eyes closed, glitter puffed all over him, and he goes, of course.
And then there's a fourth one that kind of like interests you. You open it up. You think at first it's blood.
How do you even fill a locker with glitter?
Very
But
careful.
they find a way.
You'd have to like pump it in there with a tube.
Just a little glitter bomb. Top level.
You think there's like blood coming out of one of the ones. And you're like, you think you have a lead. You open it up. It's just jam. Like someone had a jar of jam in there that during the heat of the day, it just burst open and just kind of leaked everywhere. Though it did leak on what looks like a flyer that you pull out. And it is a flyer for a something called the Giggle Games. It is a college-wide prank contest between students that are trying to outdo each other on elaborate jokes.
It's just a prank.
Someone wanted to play a game.
Does he know
You
whose locker that belongs to?
It is a locker that is for. Give me a second.
I mean, as the janitor with the master key, he probably has the list of whose locker is whose.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to like see who's, because it's not one of the ones I already listed, so I have to find the name list that I had already. Because I'm so bad at names, I had a list of funny names.
No, it's smart in a who done it. It's good for you to have real names.
Who'd done it? That's his name.
Clearly,
Okay,
Jimmy
this is the
Jiggles.
locker of someone named, funny enough, named Bud Light.
Is he a frog?
No,
You gotta watch out for that Hugh Dunnett.
he is
He's
a
always hanging
rather
out with that Howie
rotund
Ketchum.
human man. But that's the only thing you really find of interest in these lockers, other than you just repeatedly have things just covering you. You definitely need to change your uniform when you go home.
Well, he'd use prestidigitation to clean himself.
For some
and
reason, I still can't get rid of all the glitter, though, unfortunately.
yeah, when he
Not
cast
even
it,
magic.
Not
when he
even
cast
magic.
prestidigitation, another confetti storm bursts around him.
Of course.
Lord
All
of
it makes me
Kings.
think of every time that happens is Sideshow Bob's like grumble. If you've ever seen those episodes of Simpsons.
Mhm. Yep.
Who wants to drive through the cactus patch? Me, not me.
I love Sideshow Bob.
He's
Alright.
great.
Y'all remember
Fucking
to use
Frasier.
your notes.
So Dizzy Dan, you're listening in on the students. Go ahead and give me a perception for that. Seems like the best action for that one. You're just listening in. Also, the Nut family, Dis and D's. But yes, Michael, go ahead and roll me a perception since you're like listening in on the students and such.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear that was me. You said.
Yeah, no, you're good.
All right.
Listen, if this game wasn't interrupted by jokes every 5 seconds, it wouldn't be what I planned.
Sheet is loading. I minimized it, which makes me kind of
Yeah,
wonder
no,
what the point of minimizing it was. Perception you say?
Yes.
Bam.
Nice. Let me see. So you hear a couple different things. Go ahead and roll me a d50 twice to determine what you hear about. Wow. What are the odds?
1 and 2.
What are the fucking odds? Damn.
Approximately 125.
Yeah.
Okay, so you hear a couple things. You listen in on a couple different students that are talking, and they're like, "Hey, have you seen the new play? It's called Sewer Slide Squids. They just did a tie-in to combine it with the lore of the Just Ice guys." And you hear the other one like, "Man, I love the Just Ice guys. The Flush, the Green Tankard, the Soup Man. Who's your favorite?" And the other student just responds just flatly, "Batman." In addition, you also hear of one person talking to a group trying to promote not promote. They're talking about a supposedly haunted dormitory. Dormitory room. reporting. They talk about they keep hearing a bunch of strange laughter and objects being moved around in their dorm room when they're sleeping.
Chaos.
Okay.
That's all you hear about those.
Strange objects being moved around in the dorm rooms. A pervert.
Mhm.
But that's all you pick up on your investigation of listening in, folks. Tassalara, what are you doing for your investigation of the day?
Well, day after class, I will be attempting to bribe the local Corvid population to scout shit for me.
Nice, I like that.
Turns out all the ravens are named Bobby, and half the calls just translate to, "Hey, Bobby!"
I just pictured they're all saying, "What's up?" But yeah, go ahead and give me an animal handling. Or diplomacy, since you probably have the ability to speak to him as well, so.
Animal handling's better skill-wise. 16.
16. Yeah, you bribe them with a bunch of different shiny bits and different various seeds and food. It's very easy since you can talk to them to get them on your side, especially since I can't imagine Tassalara was ever mean to any of the crows, so they don't have beef with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another one that I will report back the next day of what they find.
Yes.
As far as social interactions and / interrogations, I feel like Bordy already kind of did that with Squeaky.
Yeah, I figure we just.
Yeah,
rolled
so
into
that kind
it
of just
and
leads
together.
out from
Yep.
there. So that was already covered for you.
Mhm.
Would anyone else like to talk to anybody in particular, or like try to question anybody, and like not like necessarily an interrogation, but
I would like to do something necessarily an interrogation.
go ahead. What would you like to do?
I want to find Squeaky.
It's not hard to find him, even though he's small. Every time he steps, it squeaks every single step. You see a giant mallet, kind of like it's so large, it actually towers above the heads of the normal sized students. So you're able to pick him out pretty quickly.
Yeah, and he spends time in the prop room area where Board talked to him, right?
Yeah, he spends pretty much a lot of time in the clownery institute part of it. So
Yeah,
like
so
you see him, he's probably still working on something.
yeah, when he's alone, it's just I just come out of nowhere and like pick him up by the collar and slam him against the wall and go, "All right, it's time to cut the crap, little man. Tell me what you know."
Oh God.
As you do that, you just hear him squeak. Actually, like that's like when he screams. Every time he tries to scream, it just honks like that.
Mhm.
He's like, I don't know what you want. I don't owe anyone any money. I haven't owed anyone. This is my gambling debts that were paid off.
Bullshit! You're too young to have children unless you're very hot, which you are not.
I know. I'm a 2 at best. As he just starts crying as you're like slammed him against the wall.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want from me? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do anything.
Tell me what you know. What have you done?
I wet the bed until I was 7. I had gambling debts until I was 12. And my dad never loved me.
No one's father's ever loved them. That's how we come into this world. What do you know about the glitter?
Which glitter? There's glitter everywhere.
All of it.
I know most of it's produced in-house here in the Clown College Hall, specifically the workshop. We have the glitter blender over there. He seems pretty up and up. He is terrified of you, and he just wants to be let go.
The glitter blender.
Yeah. My mind's
What's the
still
glitter
trying to
made
work.
from?
I know various shavings, metals, plastics, papers. I don't
Clown.
know. Anything we
Not lying
can't
to me,
use
are you?
anymore, we just kind of throw into the blender.
You're not lying to me, are you?
No! Why would I lie to you? You look like you're gonna kill me.
Slam up against the wall again.
Squeaks again.
Where are the drugs going?
What?
How do you know about the drugs?
I'm the one asking the questions here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Jimmy Juggles is
Mexican
my
border.
dealer.
My contact's name is Sergio.
Hold on, no answer.
Whoa.
Who's this dealer?
Jimmy Juggles is my dealer. I'm sorry. I don't mean to do it. It helps me get through the day to relax.
Nice.
Fucking junkies are all the same.
He's been dealing.
I'm
his
not a
Mexican-
junkie. It's casual. It's legal here. Do you think all of the whimsy in this world comes naturally?
I don't see whimsy, I just see shades of eyes. Now, where can I find this dealer?
I don't know. He's usually doing acrobatic shit in the acrobatics department. So, can you let me down now? Or am I in trouble?
You're in trouble, all right. Walking down the dangerous, perilous path of crime. I drop him. Clean your act up, kid. Or the next time that we meet, this squeak is going to get oiled.
Hold on. Can I also potentially propose keep your nose clean and cut to like his freshly made like prop nose like
Yeah.
in some dirt?
You know?
No,
imagine
Seculus chewing on it next to the Cox's feet.
He's running away, crying. He said he'd oil me.
I really want us to have our whole group meeting when this is done to what we learned today. I'm like, I found the dealer of the drug ring. And you're like, what?
The college, of course, is a drug ring.
I'm gonna find where the rebel base is next.
This is how we get pulled into a whole nother campaign, a 1 to 20 level game. Or I guess 5 to 20.
But that's my thing.
Yep. You leave Squeaky behind, and he's just like sobbing and being like, I don't even know what I did, man.
May I roll a post hoc intimidation to scare him straight?
Sure.
27?
He's like, I guess I can get my funny up without losing all my money. Man,
Well said.
I didn't think that my drug habit was gonna be this bad. Damn. As he just kind of sits there and contemplates his life, like he doesn't even know who you are. You just show up, question him, and leave. He didn't take your
And
life.
of course, the drug they're talking about is helium.
I just love the idea. If
He is named Squeaky, after all.
He's doing his prop work and just a black and white film noir detective out of nowhere
Yeah.
interrogating you.
Anyone else would like to have an interaction with somebody?
Let's add that to the notes. Jimmy Juggles was the dealer, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I'll add that to the notes.
Jimmy Juggles deals helium behind the rafters.
What about Norm, Tassalara, Dizzy Dan, any of the students or faculty you wish to interact with or question or ask any questions?
Start trying to make inroads with Trixie, because both in the animal care major. I can't think of anything, particularly questionable today, but just kind of small talk.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe towards the end of the interaction, might be like, "Have you heard about all these weird accidents?"
Yeah. As you're like coming up to her the first time, you see her like you're like listening on like a how to like trim like the nails of like large cats or something.
Hmm.
And you see her like kind of sneaking up behind the cat, and she does a quick like little, not like enough to be harmful, just enough to shock, like little quick stomp on like the tail of the cat, so it like its nails jut out a little bit more, so it like scratches whoever's trying to trim it, and they kind of like freak out a little bit, and she's like she kind of like walks back and like giggling to herself.
Mm.
Like when you go to communicate with her and everything, and you like ask her about the recent like incidents and stuff, she's like, yeah, I heard about that. It was like crazy. Like I was in the crowd during the tightrope incident thing with the unicycle, and
that one sounded
man, I've
disgusting.
heard of it was disgusting. I've heard of piping, but that's just like a whole new level. The glitter got all over the crowd. Man, that was disgusting.
All old man, it's mostly plastic garbage.
As you're like talking to her, she kind of like notices like your weird animal, and like she kind of points at it and stuff. Like, have you ever tried to see if that one, if you throw it at somebody, if they would like freak out or not?
Can't say I have. He gets in enough trouble on his own.
Oh,
So-
what kind of trouble?
Well, he likes to chew on things, likes to knock them over. Somehow he gets on a shelf above you. He'll push stuff off onto you. It's an evil little thing.
Do you mind if I borrow him
Did
for a
get
second?
involved with some shady characters down in Guatemala, but I think that's behind us now.
Like she asks you to borrow him, but instead she just like after she asks you, she kind of just picks it up and carries it over to like the place that has like all of like the different like harnesses and everything, and kind of just sets them quietly on top of it just to see what happens with the chaos. And I'll leave it to you to decide how much chaos it causes by knocking things over.
Mm-hmm. After a minute, it would get bored, and yes, chaos would ensue.
You see Tilda just like see it happen and be like, "Oh heavens to Betsy!" and just like runs over and just like does that thing where she's like trying to catch everything, and then she's not good at juggling, so she kind of just starts throwing things over her shoulder into a pile, not really helping get things caught, but enough to not have things break.
You see what I mean?
Brilliant. Invites you to like later on if you feel like it to join her in a prank off with other students.
Sounds interesting.
Yes, like we try the best we can to upstage each other without incidents like the tightrope one.
You have any ideas?
So hear me out. We go and find slimes, the living kind. And we let them loose, but we specifically find the ones that only dissolve certain objects. I'm thinking we get ones that only dissolve metals, but specifically we target the people who have straps that hold their clothes up. It'll be hilarious. And we just start chucking them at people.
Interesting idea. Not sure where we'd find them, though.
I mean, there's everything you want in the sewers around here, I'm sure.
And many things you wouldn't, but
That's why we have to dress for it. Yeah, it much more devolves into more attempts at trying to come up with different ways to prank people. She definitely seems like the troublemaker type.
Yeah, fine, it's dumb. Let's just put cellophane over the toilet instead.
Meanwhile, upper decker, baby, woo!
I got kicked off the force.
Flashbacks of like non-flashbacks for him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all just
What is that
flashbacks of him just
smell?
on the top of the toilet grunting.
Wait, is the water brown?
Norm, Dizzy Dan, anyone you
Flushed
interact
it.
with, or do we want to just skip that for the day?
I thought Norm's investigation was the lockers.
It was, but this is like if you have anyone you like specifically find on your day, you don't have to. There's not always going to be times where it makes sense that you interact with somebody. So if you don't think you met anyone in particular during the day, you can just skip that part.
He would in the break room while cleaning the break room just see if there was a teacher that he could speak with to ask about teacher rivalries, but phrase it well. Not say, are there any teacher rivalries? Rivalry week.
Rivalries?
Rivalry week.
Like,
yeah,
yeah, okay, I got you.
Bait
Yeah,
him
well,
into
that-
asking about
Yeah.
how he is.
Grudges and all that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and give me I would say since you're trying to not let them know that you're investigating specifically for a murder thing, I'll let you either use deception or persuasion.
All right.
$18. Let me see. And you're specifically asking about teacher rivalries, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, when you're asking, you approach Miriam, the school nurse, and you're asking about stuff like that. But you're doing it well enough to kind of keep it casual about it. And she's like, Well, I know Flummery and Balthazar don't get along very well. Flummery keeps commenting about how Balthazar's acrobatics since he got injured is just too basic. And you know Balthazar, he doesn't like to consider anything he does basic. He prides himself on his talents, even though he is no longer in the shape that he was once before.
Got it.
Although otherwise, I don't know. Not a lot of the teachers really have beef with each other. I mean, personally, I don't really like Trinity too much, but that's because I'm not really a sweets fan, and she just loves to cook pastries. But I wouldn't call that a rivalry. I just bring lunch from home.
Well, we all have our own ways, and everyone else's are wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
What happened? What was the Balthazar's injury?
Balthazar's injury. Let me go back to the notes before I say anything. Balthazar, before he was a teacher, he was once like the main performer of the Skyborn Symphony. You would know this. This is actually one of the main performances during like the high rise routine of when you were back in your heyday.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, he was just renowned for his daring trapeze stunts and high wire routines. During one of those high rise routines, it ended with the line snapping, and while he landed and he managed to survive with minimal injuries and carry on the show, by carrying on the show and not getting immediate care, he wound up injuring his legs and back to a decent degree to where he couldn't perform to the high degree that was expected for the Skyborn Symphony. So in a sense of kind of like lost for his former glory, he was hired on as a teacher, and he's kind of continued on. He got hired a little bit before you, actually, if you like, your character would remember that. Well, you can decide if that was like the same accident that kind of like ended your career or not. it would kind of line up pretty similar in time frame.
Maybe it was. Actually, talking about it just brings back horrible memories. And perhaps that's what it triggered the curse.
Yeah. You wouldn't know it by how much flipping he does, but you can tell like by the end of the day, he is just he makes frequent visits to the nurse's office for painkillers. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I heard that pop in his back earlier.
Yeah.
None of us
shame.
are quite what we once were.
Well, don't let me in with that. I'm glorious.
Indeed, you are. But
Oh, do go on.
I've been talking for too long. I need to get back to my duties and the animals' duties. They all need to be cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the nurse is handing out opioids. The ring is bigger than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just need to find the third ring.
Then it's a triangle, the most guilty of all shapes.
What about you, Dizzy Dan? Do you meet with anybody during the day, or you just kind of keep it under investigation? Michael's
I'm
muted if you
disguised as a monkey today, so I don't think.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fair.
disguised as a monkey today, so I don't think I'm talking to anyone.
No, that's fair. Like I said, not every one of these is going to happen every day. I just like to try to break it up, so I make sure to ask people each things.
Do you talk to any of the other monkeys?
I don't think you can actually talk to monkeys when you go alter self.
You could still observe
Yeah.
people and like see where they're going, follow people.
I mean, that's pretty much what I was doing for
Yeah.
my. That's
Okay.
Okay. As far as evening confrontations or stakeouts, if you have any ideas, you can let me know. But otherwise, I imagine there's not really much to stake out or confront at the moment. Though, Willie J. Cox might have an idea.
I mean, we could use this as a point to get all together.
Yeah, that's what I was going to.
Share info.
So we'll say you meet back at the office of Willie J. Cox because he's now considered a teacher, so he has a classroom and a connected office.
Mm-hmm. I sit down a glass and pour myself from the decanter of bourbon, which has somehow appeared in this space.
Hey, fellers! Bort walks in. Interrupts the moment a little bit.
Loosen my tie. Well, I've asked some questions and I've made some progress. Looks like I found a street level operation on the drug ring.
Is there a drug component to this?
Oh yeah, there's always a drug ring component to this. Are you familiar with some punk named Jimmy Juggles?
No.
And Board will never be knowing who Jimmy Juggles is now.
Norm pulls a sheet of paper out from his janitor coveralls, puts it down on Willie's desk. What do you think about this? Looks kind of like a, I don't know, sports gambling competition.
Drugs, gambling. We just need prostitution, and we just found the holy trinity of crime.
I just got hit on really hard in the break room.
Are you telling me this is a 3-ring circus?
I mean, $20 is $20.
Did that monkey just talk? Not my monkeys, not my circus, but let's keep on moving.
Guess there's some sort of prank contest going on. If Willie ever puts his glass down, Secula's sitting on the table and starts drinking out of it.
Mm-hmm. One thing I've been noticing is the predominance of glitter on campus.
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere.
And
I saw a big old glitter machine in the Giggleworks workshop. It does look like it'd be capable. I was looking around and capable of producing the murder props.
A glitter blender. I'm familiar with it.
Don't breathe it in. It's not good for you.
Only one of the two murders involved glitter. The other one was fire and gasoline.
Still,
Mm.
we're too early on to be discounting any details. Except for the
I-
headmaster. He said he didn't do it, and I believe him.
Out of character, I live for the moment that Willie J. Cox gets hit by glitter.
Oh, and becomes colorful.
Yeah.
Charisma saving throw to desaturate.
He glitters, but it's all black and white glitter. All it just makes me think of is he does like the Zoolander face, and all of a sudden the glitter stops mid stride, like mid toss, and just vanishes.
So no leads exactly today then.
At this
Mm.
point,
Not really.
as I
But
said,
we just started.
it seems like that the Giggleworks workshop could have produced the murder weapons, and I know that Squeaky and Boinky or Boinkerson have access to, or have that class, but they're totally cool guys. I mean, like,
You
Like,
can't trust Squinky. He'll do anything for his next hit.
no, Squeaky's a good guy. Squeaky's a good guy. And he introduced me to Binky, who launched me out of the cannon. I mean, that's just good people right there.
Mm. Getting in close with the students. The two that died, were they students?
The ones that died, one of them was a student, the one that was on the tightrope.
Oh, actually, do we have like victim names and profiles or anything like that?
Yes, give me a second.
You probably put those in notes.
John Clown.
Meanwhile, Tess has pulled out a pack of cards and is building a house of cards on the table.
Oh, sorry, I had it backwards. The one that was on the tightrope was actually the secretary of the principal. That was the second murder that they caught up on. The first one was the seltzer one.
The
Her
turban
name
secretary?
was Elevator.
Mhm.
And where's the other one? There it is. The other one was named Automatic. Yes, they're all names like this, by the way.
I think we.
And that was the one that was performing a stunt where they get caught on fire and were supposed to be put out by seltzer bottles, but then they had flammable liquid inside of them instead. As far as like what the crime scene looked like afterwards, you haven't really investigated what or asked anybody about what was at the scene otherwise. Like you asked the principal a little bit, and he filled you in on what he knew, but you could always ask other people if they had any more details about those as well.
Okay.
Well, there is one way we could try and figure out what direction to go.
Don't say
Dizzy
flipping a
Dan,
coin.
in his Daniel form, of course, is going to start digging. He's going to dig around inside of his backpack until he pulls out a floppy 5-gallon hat with what looks like a comical rubber star right on the right in the center. And he goes, it's an old tradition from back in my hometown. And then he's going to throw it in the air. And what was who suspects?
I'm sorry, what was what?
Or like
What
one
was
of the
who and
directions.
then suspects is all we got out of that.
Yeah. Do we have like a person we are thinking about maybe going and confronting? Because I know we got a couple of names just now.
I'm pretty sure Willie's gonna go hard on Jimmy.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna tail it.
This is
But
good. So he will throw
Sorry, just Willie
cowboy
going
hat
hard
into
on
the
Jimmy.
air.
He's
It'll
just-
flip
Oh yeah,
around.
I was
a
tempted
couple
to
of
go a
times.
little bit further, like till he's wearing him as a hat.
And then
Oh,
I'll ask, is Jimmy the acrobat guy? Jimmy Juggles, yeah. I'll ask, does Jimmy Juggles have well, I guess this one's always confusing. It's the wheel of
So
the
you
world.
basically have to you have to specify what are you gonna do like it if we go investigate Jimmy Juggles, then you would ask Wheel, and then what would happen, and then I would give you Wheel, Woe, or Wheel and Woe.
Yeah, so in the cowboy version here, it's either going to land on the top, on the bottom, or balance perfectly on the side. I guess.
Love it.
So yeah, that's the first question, I guess, is going to be is Jimmy Juggles
Like you have to state what
Is that a
you're
good
doing,
direction
and
for the
it's
investigation or
it's
something like that?
an action you're taking.
Mhm.
Not asking a question about somebody.
we're interrogating Jimmy Juggles.
So it is Wheel.
All right, the
That
cowboy
falls
hats.
upright.
Yeah, cowboy hat falls upright.
Lands perfectly on Secular.
Yeah. The little creature pokes its head out, and then I got to agree with Willie. Oh, I'm sorry, Detective Cox.
Private Cox.
I've heard it both ways.
I think Richard's in there somewhere.
Actually, no. Specifically because this was Richard DMing, I did not include Richard anywhere with it.
A disembodied voice speaks into the office room. I'm watching all of you, you bastards.
Richard's in all of our hearts.
Well, he is a dick.
Yeah. But today concludes relatively uneventfully. Nothing really happens out of the ordinary on campus, other than the normal unordinary things in a clown college. Next day, unless you're doing something different for the morning campuses and class life, we don't have to rehash what you guys do during the day in terms of going to classes or teaching classes or cleaning up or anything.
Could we take
But-
a quick bio?
We can take a quick bio. It is 6:30, so yeah, let's do that. I have to get more water anyway.
Sing. Nice to piss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back. Hello? Okay.
Yeah. mines.
For some, it did that thing where the audio has that like it chimed like doo doo, like it's reconnecting me for a second there.
Yeah. Beep. The trouble of doing sight gags in theater of the mind.
Yeah, I know. Trying my best, but like, yeah, this one's gonna be a lot of theater of the mind because it's just easier to do it that way. To be fair. I keep trying to put the little gremlin in wherever it'll fit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I try to like reference like describing the scene as if it was like through a camera lens. Because for me, that's the easiest way to describe like comical things.
I'm back.
Yo.
Yeah, I think Pinky's the only one I don't have any notes on at the moment. And again, look at the man. Who would want to approach that?
Guilty as hell.
Listen, I'll be surprised if he votes anyone other than the headmaster to be innocent for Willie J. Cox over there.
I asked, and he said no. So
Yeah.
checks out.
Pinky would go on to star in his own teenage sitcom, Shrek'd by the Bell.
With his co-director Payne. Binky and the Pain. I'm gonna be very interested to learn when this campaign is over if the Squeaky having a drug dealer was an improv or an actual thing that was written down.
Well, I can't tell you now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying when the campaign is over.
You.
Hey. Telling you guys though, it's got something to do with that glitter. Feel it in my jimmies.
Your Jimmys.
Mm-hmm.
Your boys.
How many Jimmys does Willie J. Cox have to feel him in all of them?
Well, he's Willie Johnson Cox, so that's at least 3.
Yep.
I'm back.
Fair. Yeah, he's the private dick, so that's 4.
Yep. See, the
That's
best
4.
part about
Yep.
my character's name is that it was a funny joke that I wrote, but you guys get to play with it.
Oh, did you really?
Yep.
I'm sure it'll come to a climax eventually.
Oh,
Shout out like
I mean,
a
if it starts
cannon.
getting too annoying, just slap it around a little bit.
it's the package that just keeps giving.
I don't know. I had this whole like little mini campaign in mind just because like The whole
And
point of this one is you can just interject with whatever jokes you want, and it's like
Yeah, I
perfectly
love
in
it.
line with the game.
Just perfect way to just practice our free form and improv and just fun.
Yeah, the world is your oyster. You can literally make up whatever you want. We'll just roll
Yeah.
with it.
It took me a sec to pick up the pace with the like juggling cats, but I'm like, all right, we'll get there. We'll get there.
It's hard sometimes. Like sometimes my mind will just blank. I'm like, how am I going to turn this into something?
Oh
That
yeah,
part
this
is
is
the cats got accepted into college before you did.
right.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to say something like when that happens, like it's not my fault. One of those cats was the class valedictorian.
It didn't formulate in my brain fast enough to make a joke when you guys were saying what's more dangerous, knives or cats. And it didn't formulate in my brain fast enough to make something about it. It's way more dangerous to handle pussy.
Yeah, I've been biting my tongue on all the. Yeah, been holding back on that.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I just couldn't put the wires in my head together
I feel
fast.
like
Yeah, that's fair.
that's,
I understand that. I
I
understand
feel
that.
like that's an editable word.
Mhm.
Get us in trouble.
Yeah. We're not
I mean, it could be worse. You could be
broadcasting
saying, "See you next Tuesday."
I don't know what that means.
We're worried about the word pussy.
Let's all
I
say
would
it.
say
Vagina,
we.
vagina, vagina.
We've said
In
much worse things.
In reference, I mean, reference our last couple of Curse of the Crimson Throne sessions in relation to the Shawanti.
What? Ethnic cleansing?
The number of bring the blankets and glass bead jokes.
That kind of stuff's okay. I'm pretty sure our president's going to kick all the Palestinians out of Gaza.
He's also going to buy Greenland.
I'm pretty
And
sure
make
our
Canada
president's
the
going to kick all the
30
Native
51st
Americans
state.
out.
Hmm.
Do you guys see what they want to name Greenland?
No,
Red,
what
white,
now?
and
Red,
blue
white,
land.
and blue land.
Red, white, and blue land.
This would be funny if it wasn't so frightening.
Are we in hell?
That's satire,
Yeah.
right? That's not like legitimate. That's just
That's a
somebody-
meme. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
a meme, but still.
No, it's not. Gentleman from Georgia actually put it into his bill.
Oh.
Gentleman from Georgia. That's how I feel when I explain stupid shit people from my state do too. Go. Well, a
Mhm.
fellow here down Texas way.
I'm already tired of Trump and First Lady
Yeah.
Musk, okay? I don't really want to deal with it anymore.
I haven't heard that.
You mean Alanya?
Like you
Yeah,
don't want him
Elon
to-
Musk.
you don't trust Elon Musk with your social security number.
I don't trust him to run his own businesses, let alone that.
You know what? We'll get back to the game, but I'm just going to say this. For years, people have been warning me that any day now we're going to have a big societal collapse. And all I'm going to say is, can it hurry the fuck up? Please. I would much rather go Walking Dead about now.
Yeah, we're in the most boring dystopia.
All right.
Now back to the
fun
fictional clowns.
times.
Mhm.
I would have it be known that I am behaving like a lunatic, but I have uncovered real evidence.
I love it.
Of an
Keep it up.
unrelated crime.
Mhm.
That is, Richard is insistent is not a crime, but I'll find a crime.
You'll find it, damn it. So yeah, like again, unless anyone has anything they do differently during the morning classes and stuff.
I just hear the monologues of my snitches. I mean, students.
Yeah, that'll follow up on the investigation.
Yep.
But I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything changed before I go on to that part because, I'm not trying to like rush it through it, but I don't want to just like have us repeat the same things over and over again, kind of thing.
Very fair. I got
We have a
nothing new.
tendency to do that.
It's easy to do when it's like day-to-day stuff. So.
Mhm.
Okay, so during the investigation, during the investigation phase, Mr. Willie over here,
Mhm.
you have some students turn into a bunch of homework. A lot of it's just silly stuff like, oh, this person's afraid of dogs. This person has secret pet mice somewhere.
Mhm.
The only ones you get of any notice, Dante introduces a thing about he was about Zara Zirkus because they seem to be rivals in different ways.
Mhm.
Her flaws and stuff that he uncovered is she is always eavesdropping on all kinds of different conversations.
Mhm.
Ooh, somebody putting that in
And
notes.
she is a diva when it comes to trapeze and often chastises students and faculty for not taking their craft seriously.
Right.
As far as her, she also does the same thing towards Dante, where she investigated him.
Mhm.
He is always of using the terms practice first, apologize never. And he always carries a collapsible tightrope and a pair of juggling batons that emit sparks. That seem to be
Collapsible
faulty.
typewriter. It sounds
And-
like a folding helicopter situation.
Yeah. And let me guess, she also reports that he's been spying on other people's conversations.
No, actually, she just reports that he's an opinionated douche.
I
Well,
like how you have them snooping on each other.
yeah, I was about to be like, I'm looking at these papers being like, well, she should have reported that he was listening to people. So that means he wasn't listening to people. So that means he gets a B.
Oh, and he also uses, I forgot, she also reports that he tries to use every interaction ever to try to prove himself better than other people.
Dangerous world we've created.
All right. So real quick, can I use an insight check on writing reports?
What were you trying to figure out?
So are they just like mutually censuring each other, or do they actually hate each other?
Oh, yeah, go ahead and roll me an insight. A little bit of column A and B.
Ah, I see. Sexual tension.
I can't wait to hear about that in the next monologue.
And I think you would instantly become her favorite teacher if you somehow disclosed that he got a lower grade because of what she commented.
That comes in the letter to the Playboy editor.
And then Tassalar, the Ravens come back. First, they demand feed, of course.
Of course.
Those corvids don't work for free. I should know.
What news bring my murder minions?
Have you know a group of ravens is called an unkindness, sir?
Yes,
Oh, it's called a murder.
crows. No, that's
Um,
crows.
They point out that because they're Ravens, they don't know how to indicate who is who, because they don't probably recognize people's names. They say the one that seems to be annoying and everywhere has recently placed a large order for custard pies. And a hat that belonged to sorry, no, that one they wouldn't have known because they don't know who things belong to like that. Sorry, ignore that.
Objects and such are be good for them to pick out, but
It's hard to speak as the Raven.
They said the short green one with the devil stick keeps pushing barrels back into the back building, however they would describe the building.
Squeaky's orange. So that's not him. Short green might be the. Yeah, well, that would be devil stick for them. The broom.
I mean, it's an animated broom that insists on keeping things clean. Do you think ravens would like that?
They'd figure out a way to exploit it.
I'm sure they do. Honestly, if anything, they probably hate the bucket that Norm carries around because things disappear in there and they can't fish them out.
Annoying
Welcome to
and
my 70
everywhere. I feel like that's Binky.
Teaching ravens to fire
I don't know
fire
enough about him.
firearms.
This is a worthwhile attempt, yes. Yeah, that's that for that.
I will say that I think I'm going to go with when you have a follow-up investigation, it counts as that day's investigation. Because
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with like if the follow-up has relevant results, it's going to have more details than like initial investigations.
Yeah.
Because that just seems like a better risk versus reward kind of thing.
Plus, I had to go get all that fucking bread.
Right. Norm, Board, Dizzy Dan, if any of you want to investigate anything, or like, investigations don't have to be like you're describing what you're investigating. You could just say that you want to just investigate different parts of campus, and I could have you make appropriate rolls.
I think
Norm wants to go to the crime scene.
Yeah. Which one?
The first one.
The one that's about to happen.
The unicycle up the butt on the trapeze. He wants to check all the trash cans in the area, analyze the glitter that was scooped up, that was used, or that came out of the guy's mouth. I assume it went into the trash cans. And, look at the trapeze rope. Do all the investigations as he's cleaning the room.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and roll me an investigation for this. 16. You do find something. You find as you're cleaning up, like you say, cleaning up, quote unquote, near the where you go up on top where the line, the fucking, why can't I ever say the word? Not as
Tightrope.
Tightrope, yeah, sorry. Where
Not
the tightrope
zip
is
line, Richard.
yeah, I know. Where the tightrope is connected on one end, you notice that where because it's pretty high up, it's near like the top of the giant tent.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that there is something that kind of like glimmers in the light of the tent. And you have to kind of climb up a little higher. You have to actually go down, bring a ladder up, and climb up a little higher. You see a broken wrench that it's kind of broken halfway down the handle. And you see what looks like it was initialed at one point, like someone had their initials on it. But you can't make out the whole initial. There's one like line, but it looks like where it was broken is where the line was. It could be a B, a D, an E, pretty much anything that has like a line at the first part of it.
Murderer.
Oh, no.
All right, Inky, Binky, and Bonky.
If it was him, we're in trouble because he's known to work with down these stairs.
I know, and judging by Binky's look, he probably is in a band with him, and they call it System of the Downs. Sorry, bad joke.
Do I recognize it as one of my boss Blimble's tools?
I mean, it could be. You don't really know if he initials his tools or if it looks like one of the ones that he uses.
Well,
It definitely does look like it's like used by someone who actively uses tools of some kind because it looks worn. It's like not like a new wrench. So possibly.
All right. I assume that's end of his investigation.
I think I could go.
So
I
really,
think-
just ask your students Who do you think would murder someone?
That's for the next day.
right.
Well, then they just always point out the golf kid, and that's no fair.
It's always the quiet one.
It'll be
anyway.
like if any of you remember that joke from One Piece where they're like, "Who was trying to murder Iceberg?" And they were like, "Oh, we thought it was Michael and Heikel." Like,
I could. There might be some people that are like, I think Jimmy Jokels is the next to go if the way that board guy just keeps landing on him.
Also, I
Jimmy
just
Juggles is it.
I wish I had planned this as a joke, but it's like, who do you think's the most likely to kill? I said, well, it's always the quiet one, and then it popped in my head. That's why I asserted my dominance over Squeaky now.
So Board, you said you were gonna go.
Yeah, so I think Board would basically pull Squeaky into lunch and just start talking with him and just, again, being a genuine friend with him and friendly. And he's going to start asking more about the college, but then, start, like, dude, what was this about the murders? And what you, like, who are they? What is, and just kind of looking for that sort of insight from friend to friend, right?
As you say that, you see him. He's like holding the sandwich because he's like they're like eating lunch together or something,
Mhm.
and he just holds his mouth. His mouth is a game. He's like, "There were murders." Because remember, you were told not to tell the people that.
Oh, can I revert?
No, it's fine.
Okay,
Nope,
okay.
This is a character now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, I mean,
is
there's
that
something
why
about
the
like
s-
there's
is
something
that
about
why
like
the
the haunted
angry
room.
gray man just shoved me against the wall because he was gonna kill me? Did I escape a murder?
No, the murders were taking place in like the haunted room.
There's a haunted room?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh boy, do I need to drop out?
do you not know anything about this place? I mean, just ask the kids. There's stories everywhere.
People don't talk to me.
Well, I guess I'll just start pulling you in, and we'll start talking to other people. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff going on at this campus. Like what, or even those crazy accidents. Like what was the deal with the like the trapeze thing, or not the trapeze? What was the unicycle, and like the seltzer bottle? Like what happened there?
Oh yeah. Oh, those are murders. He kind of gets
No.
quiet.
No, the murders were in the haunted room. That were somewhere. I don't know.
Wait,
No.
if it was haunted, is it a murder or is the ghost killing him? If a ghost kills somebody, is it still considered a murder? Because they're
Well,
not
why not?
technically alive. I am so confused. But yeah, when you ask him about the like the quote unquote accidents of the unicycle and like the seltzer thing,
Mhm.
it's like, oh yeah, I was there for those. Those were terrible. I didn't. There was something weird though that I did see, but I just thought it was weird because it was just like here.
What was the weird thing?
There was when everything was like the fire got put out and everything during this whole seltzer bottle thing.
Mhm.
They were cleaning up and they missed it, but I didn't pick it up because it was burnt and everything. But there was a rag that had a bunch of glitter on it. It didn't seem because they didn't have glitter in their performance, so I just thought it was just like left behind, but it was burnt, so it looked like it was on them.
Like on the person who was it that was burned?
That was
Elevator, right?
yeah, no, that was Automatic.
Automatic was the one that was burned. Oh yeah, sorry, I got that mixed up.
I misspelled glitter, but now it's the getter.
Gitter.
Yeah.
Man, I now need to make a southern character and have him call it Gitter.
Getter the gator man.
Get our done of the
Mr.
Duns.
Yeah, I mean like glitter. I mean, did he have glitter in his act? What was?
Well, no, there was no glitter in the act. That's why I thought it was weird. I just thought maybe it was left behind and it got caught in the fire. But now you got me thinking about murders. Now I'm getting all kind of like nervous.
No, you know what? We're gonna go on a ghost hunting trip tonight because that's. I mean, I thought that's what they were saying was taking place in that haunted room, but we'll get to the bottom of it. You and me tonight. Trust me, we'll figure it out.
Okay, I can do that. Ghosts. And he's on board, but he's very nervous about it.
Mm.
So we have a plan for you to do an investigation at night.
Mhm.
Stake out, as you will.
Want me to assault him again to make sure he doesn't tell anyone about the murder?
If you want.
It's up to you to tell me that he's
Say-
suspicious.
Yeah, I probably would I tried deflecting, but
Someone suggests doing a steak, and Dizzy Dan jumps up scared and goes, "Steak!" That's all.
He just pops out of a trash can and jumps back in, and they look in, and he's just gone.
So for context, Loki, this is one of my character's ideals because they're the personality trait ideals, bonds and flaw. My ideal is I seek justice. It doesn't matter how many innocent people I need to shoot to get it.
Yep.
Anyone else want to do an investigation of any kind, or just
And-
look around?
In that
Gamer.
process, board would probably also mention that and we're also going to investigate the ghost room.
I have a social thing I want to do, but it's not investigation per se.
Okay.
Our game is going to end with Willie arresting himself for unlawful use of force.
I'm not a cop.
That's why I didn't say police brutality. I said unlawful use of
Oh, yeah.
force.
Listen, depending on the state, you'd be amazed what you could get away with as a PI. Is what I'm saying. They can legally stalk people. It's
If questioned, should probably call it investigation. Because
Brother,
Yes.
I know. We don't got a government over here.
that's probably going to waste time with Trixie.
Gotcha. Just go ahead and give me a D50 real quick.
And
10. So you're walking around college. You see a group of mimes that are kind of like walking in a circle. Hold on a second.
Oh God, mimes.
we found culprits.
Oh, wait, they're dark gothic MAGA.
Anyway, sorry, I was talking. They're not talking. Family came in. But they're walking in like a circle. It's very clearly, it looks like almost like a picket line, like kind of like, and it looks like they would be chanting if they actually spoke anything. And they are clearly holding what looks like invisible picket signs. And you see one of them one of them standing above all of them on like a platform, and he's screaming at them like he's like doing some kind of speech. Nothing's happening. Nothing's being said.
He's shaping his hands like a megaphone.
That's good.
I love it.
I have a question, Richard. So obviously Willie J. Cox is not here for this.
One of
so
them
this
pulls
is
out an
relevant.
invisible gun. Takes
But
aim.
as we've previously established, Willie J. Cox grew up in Mime Town. So
You can
do I
speak
have
mime.
I can speak mime. Thank you.
Yes. You can change out because languages aren't really going to be a big thing
Yeah.
in here. Otherwise, you can change out
Yep.
one of your languages to be mime.
Yep. Common and mime.
Love
That's
it.
what I speak.
Later on, I'll just say, Gombo, you go by there and you see that they're picketing because of school tuition hikes.
Mhm.
Realist clown government. They make us use their fucking common language in our government documents just because there's no written form of mime.
There is. You just can't see it.
A lot of references to a puppet government.
Against their religion to use a visible pen.
Yep.
God forbid you ask them to pull a normal rope.
Oh.
But yeah, not a lot happens when you're hanging out with Trixie. Go ahead and give me just a general insight for Trixie, though.
Yeah,
she seems
that
like she's just
tracks.
up to no good, but that doesn't seem like it's like she's like murder up to no good. It looks like she just really, really loves pranks.
Mhm.
Before we move on, Dizzy Dan, did you want to do anything? Are you investigating or
It's the
anything else?
investigation phase.
Yeah. So, like I said, you don't have to
Yeah,
have like
I'm
a
going
specific
to
thing in mind. If you
investigate.
have nothing in mind, you can just say that you're investigating certain areas.
Yeah, let's just spin my keys, walk whistling down the clown college hall.
Gotcha. Go ahead and give me an investigation.
All right. Yeah, not my best.
While you're investigating, you look into the workshop and you see the janitor Blimble, and like he like looks around nervously, and he pulls out something from inside of his like work uniform and hangs it on the glitter blender, and like kind of does another like side eye look back and forth, grabs a bunch of the unused glitter, and kind of like shuffles off with it.
Okay, gonna follow him.
You follow him. He's not being observant. He's not watching where he's going or watching people follow him, other than like looking around. Like you can tell he's looking around, but he doesn't seem very observant otherwise. You follow him back into the back janitorial like wing of this building, and you see him take the big bag of glitter and like upturn it into this barrel. And you see like a series of probably like 8 different barrels that are just all labeled with "Do not touch." And you see him like pound a mallet onto the lid of the barrel after and seals it back up, and he's like, "Fucking herpes, man." And then go back to doing janitorial stuff. You go back to the workshop and you see that the thing he put on the blender just says "out of order." It's clearly not out of order, but he put the sign on anyway.
Okay, and what did he put in the barrel?
All the glitter he took from the workshop. And there's about 8 barrels there. You're not sure if they're all full of glitter, but there's a bunch of barrels in the back of the janitorial closet.
All right, once he leaves, they open up the barrel and look inside.
They are all just filled to the brim with glitter.
He's pickling the bodies of his victims. And
Although I will say, go ahead and roll me a stealth for Dizzy Dan while you're doing this.
Yeah.
19, yeah. You go unnoticed as you're investigating this glitter.
I go over and look at the blender a little bit closer.
Looking at it, it's just your typical glitter blender. It's very common in this this town. It's very sharp and very dangerous. So you would think there'd be more like protective things on it, but it looks like just basically a giant blender. It almost looks like a blender mixed with like a cotton candy machine. If you've ever seen like the big cotton candy like spinners.
This is for
All right.
disposing of bodies.
the Dazinator 5000.
I'm going to go up to one of the glitter barrels,
Mhm.
and then get.
You're just gonna reduce it and take it.
Yep.
And you
Bring
do
it
that.
back to
Nothing
our
stops
next
you.
meeting. Basically, just say that one professor was acting shady, and he's filling up barrels with glitter and just bring that as proof.
We'll get to that when we get to the meeting because that's probably going to happen right before you guys, before board does the stakeout.
Yeah, I've got my own stakeout to do tonight as well.
Before we go on to that stage, is there any like particular like people you question or talk to? I know Willie's probably on a mission right now, but I wasn't sure if anyone else.
I would like to go visit the school nurse.
Go to visit the school nurse.
Mhm.
Go for it. You go up there. She's in her the nurse room. She's probably just like kind of sorting through her medical supplies at the moment.
Yeah, on my way there, I pass the demonstration of the mimes, and I do like the power to the people fist as I go by. And
I like how we established that the only people he likes are mimes.
oh, I like plenty of people, but I guess just in the session I didn't write it. He's just mime.
No, we've established that mimes are now the underprivileged class of this world. And you just relate to them. You grew up around them. You know their struggles.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's Goth mime face.
Mime face. They're an underclass that suffers silently.
Voices that are unheard.
Oh God, it's a good thing you did this after world building, Richard. Otherwise, there would be lots of jokes about trying to integrate mimes into the race.
I purposely did this after the world building.
Good
know
call.
if the world building one's going to be my next campaign that I run or not. I just want to do the world building first, so I had plenty of time to work on it.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Well, they call them the silent majority.
Yeah, so I go to the nurse's office, see her going through her stuff. Willie goes, "Pardon me, ma'am, if I could just have a moment of your time."
Oh yes, come in, sit down. What's troubling you? Stomach issues, lung issues,
Yeah,
pigment
well,
issues?
Yeah, well, a couple years back before I came here, I took a Balalenka to the back shoulder blade and has given me trouble ever since. It's acting up today. I think rain's coming. If you have anything to like just take the edge off the pain.
Oh yeah, I think I can have something. Hold on a second. She kind of goes through her cabinet and pulls out this bottle of like pills.
All right, so two things.
Mhm.
I would like to do some sort of roll to see if she has an excessive amount of pills.
Mhm.
What would that be?
Give me 1 second. So I will go off of your passive perception because that is enough.
Yep.
She doesn't have like an excessive amount, but it is substantial. It's like it's like a fully stocked like cabinet full of medical supplies, and a good portion of them are pills. And what was the other thing?
Oh, the other thing is while she's doing that, I was just going to talk to her. Go. Well, since I came on campus, I've been hearing about those accidents that happened, especially that one that happened to the dean's secretary. What's her name? The glitter on the type rope.
Oh yes, that one. That was a terrible one.
The damnedest thing, don't you think? I mean, what are the odds a pipe goes right at the right angle to flood the interior of the body with glitter that shoot out of the mouth? I mean,
I've seen weirder things around this place, but that was definitely the most graphic one I've seen. I mean, did you hear about the story about the girl who ate some fruit and then swelled up to the sizes of a giant blueberry?
I mean, I did, but she was a bitch. So
I mean, I can't say that I'm faculty. You shouldn't be saying that either, but yeah. But yeah, she brings you a tray that has like a little like one of those like little tiny paper cups that has like a couple pills in there.
Mhm.
Like this should help you with your pain a little bit. I would advise you to see an actual doctor to get better pills, but it'll do you fine.
Much obliged.
She like
Uh,
kind of looks you up and down. It's like, I assume you're new here, right? I saw you come in the other day to meet with Mr. Shellshred.
Yes, I'm a guest lecturer.
Mm. Wait, are you the one that's been doing the monologuing?
It's not impossible.
Okay, my son it takes your class.
Really?
Mhm.
What's his name?
It is where is it? Damn it. I keep saying people know people's by names. I'm like, I don't know their names by my own head.
Gumbo, I thought you were going to go, wait a minute, I'm teaching you class?
That's what the long pause was for.
Yeah.
I still
I
think Willie
felt it.
Cox
I
is
felt
50-50
it.
split on what he knows with his class is about.
Anyway,
And
his
then
name
you
is
decided
Marco
to, like, buy
Scarscale.
into it.
Marco Scarscale.
You can't miss him. He's the only other one that's a dragon.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
You would recall his secret thing is one of the ones that was talking about people not liking cats.
Yes. I am currently bluffing about this because, as previously established in my character sheet, Willie J. Cox is both colorblind, literally and racially, so he did not notice that it was a dragon person.
Mm-hmm. I like it. You only recognize them if they're mimes.
Yeah. Well, that's the outfit. That's different.
Yeah, unless you have anything to do otherwise, she just gives you your pills and carries on with her business.
Oh yeah. I head out of the office. Monologue to myself. So, the nurse has got eyes and ears in my class. And I have to be extra careful from now on. That's all.
I just started playing the music a little bit.
Yeah, I like how he just walks off and the music just follows him.
Yeah. The music's part of the monologue and it just happens naturally.
Yeah.
It's the most whimsical thing about Willie J. Cox.
Yep.
Okay. We can just jump into the meeting unless someone else has anybody they want to meet during the day. And Board already kind of did that with Squeaky. Okay. Sounds like you all gather up at the end of the day to
Sorry, I was
Sorry.
muted. Has Norm used his time?
No.
Okay.
So if you have anything when you want to talk, you can.
Yeah, he'd want to talk to Balthazar.
Yep. You see him. He's in his class, like after class, kind of like you see him doing like stretches and trying to like work out his body as best he can, and he does. You see him like trying to get like he does the thing like you see him kind of take a step and like no, this isn't gonna work. Like you know how when like everyone's trying to like gauge how well they can do a jump.
Oh yeah,
kind of doing that.
It's real life. So he kind of clamber into the room, put down his bucket, dump the trash can into the bucket, pick up his mop, stick it into the empty bucket, pull it out wet, start mopping. Not as young as we once were, Balthazar. Remember the old days?
Oh, the old days were brilliant. I was so young and agile then. My beard was glorious.
We couldn't miss a beat. Whatever happened? Yeah. You ever
It was that goddamn fall.
The line. Do you ever think back to the line and what caused it?
I don't know.
Never fell.
I never fell. You're right. I blame it on the technicians. I don't think they've paid close enough attention. He's like, he and I sighs like, I mean, I can blame them, but I should have stuck that landing. I should have gotten help as soon as it happened. I shouldn't have just tried to continue with the game, the goddamn show.
No, the show must go on. You did
The
the
show
right
must go
thing.
on.
For that, we gave our lives.
You see him pull out a familiar XXX bottle and pour a couple drinks and some shots. Hands one to you.
I'm gonna sit down and start drinking. And what I'd like to do is Norm would like to, without direct questioning, what was that underling that worked under you, Balthazar? Who was the next in line?
Trying to think of. Let's see, let me go check his backstory because I might have written something down. Okay. It was that goddamn Nepo baby that was brought in from the original creator of the fucking Skyborn Symphony. What was his name? Sammy Skyborn or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Skyborn. Who was that underling I had? Do you remember Board always being around? He was a good chap. He worked hard. Never thought.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him out of his bad habits, but he's funny, but he's just not that good of an acrobat yet.
I think he'll get there. He's been trying this long. He knows. We know he has the passion for it, and he's fearless.
Yeah, I'll give him that, but I keep trying to break him of his bad habits. I don't want him to end up in the position like me, being a subpar teacher at a high-rate college. I mean, the pay is wonderful. I got paid better here than before, but it's just no passion in it, right?
Things were better. Times were better. I wish we could just.
He just thinks about Board, and he's just all I can think of is like the South Park thing. Like, how do I reach these keys?
Just gotta turn the clock back and make them all great again.
And poor Jimmy Juggles. I think he almost broke limbs like 3 times today because of Board. And yesterday was just as bad.
I don't know who that is.
I mean, yeah, who cares?
These kids don't give a shit about us. Why should we give a shit about them?
Damn right, pours another drink.
Try and get him to go down the line if he'll start talking bad about kids and which kids don't like each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead and give me a persuasion at advantage because
Ooh.
the liquor helps.
The liquor helps, and the background connection. Oh, that's a shitty roll.
So the other thing you're gonna get out of him about this is like Zara Zirkus is probably the best student I have, but she seems to always have beef with Binky. She says that he doesn't take his craft seriously. She talks about how he's just so bad, and while she's not wrong, it's really not helping me teach the class and try to get him on board with what we're doing.
Binky probably boinked Zonka.
Wait, you think they're a thing?
This damn teenagers, 20-year-olds, that's what happens.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, if it's happening, he's really punching upwards, and good for him.
Let's hope for the low man on the totem pole. Let's recapture our glory days.
I will say that for the rest of the day, you have disadvantage on perception investigation checks because you are probably smashed after the drink.
Hammered.
Okay.
In fact, he's going to go to the janitor's closet and throw up now.
Right into his infinite bucket.
Yeah.
Into his
Say you
bucket.
got a bucket right there.
All right, time to stake out and stalk this injured kid.
I was gonna say before that, you guys do meet up and kind of share notes.
Mm-hmm.
Board informs you that they're gonna stake out a haunted place with
Yep.
Squeaky.
What were the notes on that again?
That whatever.
Well, I can confirm now that the crows saw, or the ravens saw Blimble with the barrels of glitter.
Yeah.
And the annoying and everywhere guy who ordered a lot of pies. That could be anyone.
Telling you, the glitter's a part of this.
It could be.
I was gonna say Dizzy Dan could probably put in his 2 cents now too. If Michael's talking, he's muted, so I'm not sure.
Oh well, Kenneth already basically shared what I had, which was
Okay.
that Blimble guy was moving around those barrels, acting shady.
Okay, yeah.
You got a
guys-
barrel of the glitter, don't you?
Yeah, I could
Alright.
drop it in there for people to look at, but
Does anyone have access to a forensic lab?
No?
Does anyone have access to an easily bullyable nerd that can do forensic work?
Board
even have a
kind of like
chemistry lab.
questioningly
You
raises.
could all
hand.
roll a d20 to see if you know a guy.
I mean, he's easily bullyable, but is he a nerd?
Right.
3.
So
I
Willie
probably
doesn't
don't
know anybody.
Yeah, I don't know anyone, or at least no one that'll talk to me right now.
17. I don't know what it means, but it's a 17.
Did you want us all to roll d20s?
This is just, if you want to. This is just to see if you know a guy who might need to be
Oh.
might be able to investigate something for Willie. Like he's like, do you know a forensic guy or someone he's or
Oh,
a
I
nerd
think
that's
Norm
easily
would know.
bullyable?
I don't think Board would.
That's
Is it
fine.
a flat D20?
Yeah, it's just a flat d20. This is almost like it's just a luck roll to see if you might know a guy. So Tassalara knows that it was a former student that still lives in town. That was really into making chemicals to use in their axe that might be able to help you. They're known as Scott Free.
He called him Stinky Scott that year. Not the best nickname, but he at least knows his chemicals. So I don't
It
know
was
how
better
that might
than-
help you.
All right. We should get the
what we
contents
called
of
him
this.
before he started using deodorant.
We should get the contents of this glitter analyzed. I don't trust that glitter blender.
Not for a second.
I've seen blenders do too many things in this town.
Turns out it was the possessed glitter blender that killed everyone.
Anyway,
Makes me
Because-
think of
good.
skits and like. Have you ever? Has any of the rest of you ever seen those ASDF movie things on YouTube?
No.
They're like these almost like stick figure like
Yes.
animations,
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
but it's like
It's a
the guy
classic.
holds a gun and he's
internet.
like die potato, and it just flashes to a potato being like no.
Oh yeah, from Tomska. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I've seen those. Yes.
Yeah, that just a sentient blender that kills people just makes me think of a skit that they would do.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
Anyway,
I'm gonna
steak.
go stake out. I'm gonna go. And I'm telling this to the group. I'm gonna go stake out and follow an injured kid that deals drugs. See if I can't find his supplier.
What were the notes on the haunted room, by the way?
It exists.
Okay, just that it's there.
Yeah,
All right.
you would know like the basically the wing in the dormitory that it's
Okay.
supposedly happening in,
Okay.
but that's all you would know.
All right. Then we are gonna seek it out.
New haunted
Also-
dorm room.
Almost should get some information on Trixie Tumblepuff. Doesn't look like we have anything.
Yeah. Has everybody been updating their notes in there?
I haven't been updating in the main file, but I've got a notepad open.
I think as long as we have to,
Yeah.
sometime after the game.
Yeah, I've been sticking up stuff in there.
I
Or do you
I'm
want
uh,
Norm to come with you?
Hmm?
Or do you want Norm to come with you?
Yeah, I think it would be good to have a member of the staff just to, keep it legitimate, right? Is that right?
Yep. And
Okay.
we can invis and stuff like that.
Also, to keep the rumors down.
Yeah. How about you stay off in the distance and let me well, how well do you know Squeaky?
Don't. Well,
Okay.
I know everything that he's ever written down and ever thrown away and ever put into his locker.
How
All
about
of his
you?
thoughts.
How about you'll be the your friendly normal janitor self, and you just come in when you feel the opportune's right. As us two students just wandered the halls looking for a haunted room.
Will do. So Board's basically, or Norm's basically just going to follow them invisible the whole time in case it's needed.
Gotcha. So we'll do yours first, then we'll jump to Willie's, and if anyone else has anything they want to do, they'll think about it while we're doing this one.
I will
So-
probably come along with Board.
Okay. Gotcha. So
haunted room.
mhm.
That sounds fun.
yeah, makes sense to the girl who wears mime face.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like
That
how we
was a
got
good
the.
one.
I like how we got the big golden retriever jock and the feline goth girl.
The black cat and
Squeaky.
the golden retriever.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
Mime face.
The mime things are just funny. I like how they're just sprung up.
This
Yeah.
is basically y'all just built Scooby Dooby Doo.
Yep.
You got Yoinks, you got
Yep.
Secula, Hot Tesselara, and then Big Beefy Jock Board. Yep,
Yep.
pretty much covered it.
So yeah, so for the investigations, if you like, for instance, like with Board and the gang, that was weird. I just saw a bunch of hearts.
Yeah.
Nope,
he
left
did a
it.
thing.
It's right next to my mute button on my phone. Sorry.
He's just really enjoying the game. He just had to express himself.
Well, I just realized in this group, Norm would obviously have to be the lesbian.
Which would mean that you're straight.
It would. I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but it's just the last part. I was like, look at his picture. It works.
Anyway, for the investigating the haunted dormitory room, I'll let you guys collectively decide what you want to use as your role for that. Like obvious things like stealth and investigation, but if you can make an argument for other skills, I'll hear you out. As you just basically at this point, you're going to stake out a wing of a dormitory. So
I think I'll go the insight route and just try to, if it is haunted, understand why, but more importantly, if it's, students doing something, what it may be, think it's more of a less supernatural, more subtle interaction or subterfuge actions.
Not really abandoned this section, is it?
what was
I
that?
mean, that so it's not really abandoned this section.
It's not banned. Is it
it's
Abandoned.
abandoned? No. This is actually like a living, like people live in this dormitory.
Doesn't,
They just say that one room in particular is haunted.
doesn't eliminate
Yeah.
the chances for mice, but yeah, if anything,
Actually,
I
I'm
could
going
probably summon mice. I don't know.
real quick. I'm going to retcon mine and just keep it more, simple board, and he's just going to be perception. He's just looking for it, just
Gotcha.
straight, simple. Where's the ghost or what might be making the ghost?
I'll go ahead and roll for Squeaky too, since he's here.
And board, at the start board would just kind of have a buddy to buddy, like, we've got this, man, fist out, to bump in, like, hey, if anything goes south, just stay behind me. I'll
He
keep you
doesn't
safe,
fist bump
man."
you. He uses his overly sized mallet to like tap
Hell
your
yeah. Hell yeah.
fist.
Heck yeah, that's how we do. And yeah,
don't know.
anything goes sideways, stay behind me. I got you.
Can since Norm's invisible and he's hanging back and observing all this, can he just watch and declare a roll later? Because I might want to do something.
Yeah.
I got 2 or 3 scenarios here according to kind of what goes down.
Oh well, damn. So, Board, you hear it super early. I'm not even going to roll for Squeaky at this point.
Mhm.
You begin to hear. You do actually hear the laughing that people can say that they hear before like the haunted thing happens. But it doesn't sound like a haunted, creepy laugh. Like you have to listen to it for a while, and you just start hearing it slowly. And it just keeps growing in volume, and then as it picks up in volume, gets louder and louder, but then it begins to get quieter and quieter, and you see a door open.
See it? I think we're on the
Squeaky's-
right track.
Squeaky just lets out a squeak.
What's going on? Is anyone coming out?
I think it's wanting us to go in. Board starts walking in that direction.
Mm-hmm. You
Can he? Sorry, can Norm do a Arcana or like an insight to know if this is spell magic?
Yeah, you can roll me an insight. Arcana also works if you want to use that. 11. Or it's a disadvantage. Or
Yeah, no. Well, I had advantage on, so.
yeah, but it would have been
Whatever.
disadvantage because it's because you're drunk.
Oh, forgot. Yeah.
So yeah, you don't really think about any like that. You're like, huh, that laugh's weird.
That door.
But Board, you turn the corner and with your just orc ears, you hear, "No, I said put the pencil case upside down, dummy." And the other one's like, "Shut up, I'm doing my best." And you just see a bunch of things get lifted up, turned on their side. You see like someone take shirts, flip them inside out, and hanging them back on the hangers. I don't think it would take you long to figure out there's clearly some people who are just invisible.
Mm.
They don't seem to notice you because they seem to be occupied.
I think Board's going to go along with it for a bit
Mm-hmm.
and just let the charade play out a bit just to get an idea of what their intentions are. And probably even like feed into that narrative they're trying to portray.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this is a very spooky place,
Yeah, so you're just gonna stand there with her arms crossed, looking very disappointed.
But yes, it's not. They don't really do like as much as people seem to be freaked out about.
Mm.
But it's a lot of just like subtly moving things, flipping things around, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Eventually, the
okay.
room just looks like it's been rearranged more than anything.
Man, that. After I
Um,
think Board would just kind of like, man, whoever I heard the rumors from really oversold this. Like, not even like a
Could,
bloody mirror or anything.
You hear that, and then, like all of a sudden the voices stop. It's like, I think we're being watched. Well, no shit, we're being watched. And you don't see anyone, but you just hear the pitter patter of feet disappearing in the distance as they seem to have just run out of the room and disappeared. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there was a lot going on in that room.
We kind of turn, watch the sound leave, and as the camera shoots through the door, Secula's just sitting on the ceiling, just like it's the floor.
from there. That's probably all you're gonna get from that little stakeout.
Okay, but I
At the
probably
end of it,
would.
Squeaky seems pretty relieved though.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, Board's going to again use it as that sort of man. This is a great friendship we have going on, and he is earnest about it. But just those bonding moments he's always looking for. It's that freshman year.
Yep.
But yeah, Squeaky kind of just looks at it and he's like, "Man, I think even my jokes would be better than this."
I mean, honest, solid attempt, but I mean, yeah, the execution is left wanting. But
I mean, we're kind of here. Do we want to just kind of prank whatever this room is a little bit better?
ooh, I like the way you're thinking. What do you have in mind?
He kind of thinks really hard. What if we take every one of their shirts and tie-dye them, and then write a word on each one, and they have to organize them to see the whole joke?
Oh, I like this. Yes. How do we do this? Just point me in a direction. We'll get it done. I need your mind. I'll be the help. And
Quick, does anyone know the tie-dye cantrip?
we all look over to
No.
Teslara.
Don't look at me.
No.
It's your idea.
At that point, Norm steps out of nowhere. Well, my bucket's full of a lot of different colored water. It would probably work as just something you could dip into for tie dye.
I mean, let's do
Meanwhile, Squeaky runs off because Norm appeared out of nowhere, and he's like, "Ghost!"
this.
I'm gonna find every reason to interrogate Squeaky again.
Janitor. Just
I like how this story is suddenly just all about Squeaky's adventures. This is a wild.
I think that's the part to call that scene though, as he just runs off.
I just really
Yeah.
want this to be like an ongoing thing where he's like your best friend,
Yeah.
and I'm beating him up like I'm Batman and he's my favorite snitch until the very climax of the campaign when it turns out that we knew each other the entire.
And he finds out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be more entertained if it was Jimmy Juggles was the BBE
No,
chief
he's
because
the-
by the
Yes.
time we get to the boss battle, he's at one hit point just because Board just kept tearing him down.
He's
every
like,
time.
"Just kill me."
He is he's the antagonist, but Squeaks is the protagonist.
Yes, Willie's doing a stakeout.
Mm-hmm. Gonna follow Jimmy Juggles.
True to his name, unless he's been injured, he never stops juggling. He doesn't actually have casts on, but you definitely see a bunch of like bandages wrapped on different spots and stuff. And while he seems to be really good at juggling, just watching him, he seems to be really bad at pretty much everything else. Like he can't climb up stairs without tripping.
Mhm.
When he's walking down a hallway, he somehow hits the one corner that he's turning and like jams his shoulder. Still doesn't stop juggling the entire time, but just seems very like lack of like surface areas, lack of like knowledge of that, lack of any kind of balance other than like when he's juggling. But every time
That's no
he
problem.
walks by somebody, he's very quick to say hi to them and very quick to just like try to be endearing if overly grating to people. Go ahead and roll me a stealth roll to see if he notices that you're tailing him, though.
He also never notices when orcs are flying out of the sky to land on him.
Mm.
Let me see.
He's
if he
friendly
has
to
his
everyone.
passive
That's a man
perception.
who's got something to hide.
Okay, his passive perception is terrible. So yeah, he does not notice you following him. Eventually, like you do eventually see him as he's talking to somebody. He's juggling, and during the juggling, one of the balls just suddenly gets swapped out for a bag,
Mhm.
and he seems to pass it off to somebody.
Can I see what the bag is?
It looks like a bag of glitter.
Mm-hmm.
Pure uncut Colombian glitter.
My God, he's back.
But then he continues on, and
Mm,
you see him do it a couple other times. There's just varying size bags, but all seem to look like the same stuff. In fact, actually, roll me a perception on it.
sure. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ooh, that's not good.
Just looks like big old bags of glitter.
I do have this ability from my thing, so don't know if that affects anything.
When faced with challenges or decisions, you're pushing. I don't think that would really work with
Yep.
this particular thing, but it's
That's
good
fair.
to keep in mind
Yep.
because sometimes I'll let you have perceptions that might not lower
Mm-hmm.
the DC, but you might notice different things with your perception.
I'm gonna keep penning him to see where he tops off his supply.
You don't really see him where he seems to be picking up anything from somebody.
Mhm.
You see him do that trade off a few times after you see the initial few.
Anyone
eventually-
that I know from my suspect list, the list of known
Let me
NPCs.
see. You do not recognize anyone from the list
Gotcha.
since you kind of scared off Squeaky.
Yeah, fair.
Eventually, he does look like he's returning to his room, though.
Should I confront him, or should I just try to get one of these bags from Squeaky? Hmm.
What does your heart tell you?
All confrontation all the time.
My heart tells me to go after Jimmy right now.
Actually, I like how he seems to be picking on all the short people. Because first it was the kobold, now it's a halfling.
Purely coincidental, I swear. So he's going back to his dorm room, right?
Yes. This is in the nighttime too, so it's
Oh,
there's
yeah.
lights
Oh,
because it's these streets and pathways are lit with crystal lampposts and stuff.
Mhm.
Because this is almost like a steampunk-esque kind of world.
Mhm.
Because I described there was a train earlier and everything. So
So if you would let me paint a picture of how I confront Jimmy Juggles.
mhm.
He's at the front door of wherever he's going. He's trying to fumble with his keys because he's constantly juggling.
Mhm.
And then he hears the sound of footsteps, clump, 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 in the darkness, and the of a lighting match that comes up to a cigar that illuminates a face in the darkness as a fedoraed and trenchcoat man steps into the streetlight in pure black and white. Says, "Mr. Juggles, would like to have a conversation with you."
Oh well, hey there, new friend. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Do we need to do it now? We can wait until tomorrow when I have better rest. I'm a little weary right now.
Your activities have not gone unnoticed, Mr. Juggles.
I mean,
But
I
yeah,
hope not. My juggling is very spectacular, if I do say so myself.
Crap, I know you've got the glitter.
Glitter. Oh, did you want to buy some of it?
I lift him up by the shirt again, once again to someone. I'm sure he's still juggling this entire
Oh
time.
yeah, he's just still juggling the entire time. It's like,
Oh, you like
quite
to
a
play
grip you have,
games, do you, kid?
I don't know what this is, but you're quite intimidating. What's the problem,
Yeah.
big boss? I'm
Yeah,
happy to
let me
help.
show you my favorite game. And I reach into my trench coat and I pull out my pistol. I twirl the chamber. I put it in my temple. It goes click, and then I put it. This is the 20 intimidation.
Yeah, he's you see visible sweat, but his smile doesn't break.
Mhm.
I'm and he's like, I don't know what this is. Don't think I like it, but I mean,
Tell me
it's your
everything you
prerogative.
know about the glitter. Where you get it from. what people are using it for. What's in the glitter?
Wait, are you looking for like actual glitter?
Bags that you've been handing out, punk. Keep up.
Oh, I mean, it's in my room. I can just show you. Is that okay? Can you put me down? I'll unlock the door.
All right, kid. I drop him. Show me the way. And I'm watching you.
It takes a little longer than it should because he's constantly juggling. So he's juggling the keys.
Yep.
Eventually, it manages to get in the lock, and during the juggles, he manages to twist it and open it up.
Don't do anything funny, or you'll be whistling Yankee Doodle Dandy out of a new hole.
Doesn't sound like a pleasant experience, but come on in. As soon as he
Not-
gets
I've-
past the doorway, his juggling stops, and he's like, he kind of like, he doesn't smile. He's like, oh, thank God. So did you want to buy some, or what's going on here?
Show me the supply.
I mean, it's right over here, and he like pulls this curtain, and he looks like he has basically grow lamps where he's growing these like flowers.
Yep.
And they're just like a bunch, like they look like they're covered in glitter.
Glitter on.
Like, so I grow these, and once they're fully grown, I dry them and I sell them. It's completely legal. I'm just technically supposed to have a license.
Is there like a medicine or nature I can roll to actually know what plant this is?
Yeah, you can do a medicine check.
Huzzah, with my +1.
Hey, that's pretty good. Its street name is Glurb.
Herb.
Slurp.
Mm.
Got the glurb.
So I'm like, if you want some, you're welcome to have some. I mean, I can even cut some off and get you your own plant started if you want. Listen, I got to make some money to get some tuition going.
Want to pay less for tuition, support the mimes.
I mean, mimes are all great and all, but why don't they speak? What are they hiding under those sealed tight lips?
All right, listen here, bigot. There's something going on. Once again, grab him by the collar. There's something going on this campus. And it smells worse than dead tuna that ate Indian food.
I'm confused, but go on.
Your glitter's a part of this, whether you know it or not.
I think we're still confused. It's not actually glitter. It just looks like glitter because of the plant.
Your glurb.
Oh.
Druggy filth you're pumping onto these streets. Everyone knows glurb is a gateway.
That's highly discriminatory, I'll have you know. There's been studies to show that is not true.
Listen, winners don't abuse chemicals. I take a drag from my cigarette. I drink from my flask. Like moonshine.
All it took is you have a cigar hanging on the left side of your mouth. You move it to the right side, then you drink from the left side, and then you move the cigar back.
You got a flask, a bottle, a jug of moonshine. I just do it in rapid succession.
I'm going to make a roll here. Don't mind me.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't notice, but he managed to take your gun off of you.
Mhm.
And he has it pointed at you now.
Mm.
He's like, listen, man, I don't know why you're harassing me. Yeah, I don't have a license, but that's like a minor fine. Don't know what your problem is right now. But if you're gonna like threaten me, I kind of have to protect myself.
Seem like the kind of kid who wants people to like him.
I mean, yeah, that's why I was all smiles and juggles outside.
Yeah, that makes people hate you.
I mean, I don't think I really need to take advice from the walking black and white picture frame.
Oh, monologue right now.
Next thing you know, it's Clown Joanna, Chris. Very pleasant streets. Nice. That's all it could have put there.
You're like, how about we? And but yeah, Jimmy Jones was like, how about you just relax a little bit, have some glurb, lighten up a little bit. If you want to know anything about what's going on, I do have a lot of ears in place. People do like me, despite what you may think. If you're looking for something in particular, I could probably help you out.
All right. Maybe we can do business. First things first, I'm looking for a handgun.
Oh yeah, right. Here you go, and he hands it back to you.
Just immediately turn it back around on it.
He's like, I knew that was going to happen, but I still did it anyway. I think this is on me at this point. But listen, if you're going to shoot me, then you're in trouble more than me. I'm just going to be dead. You're going to have to be either on the run or at least in jail.
True. Not a cop anymore. I can't shoot with impunity. Unless... No, the soil's too damp. Anyway.
And remember, Justin doesn't do diplomatic immunity, so you can't use that old trick.
You seem like a kid with your ear to the ground. You must know that something's going on here at the school. You could feel it. It's like I can.
He kind of looks you over for a second, kind of thinks about what you're probably suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's probably the death then, right?
You tell me, smart guy. You like to be liked by people. Make me like you.
I mean, I could probably recall something if you have anything you can ask me about, but I can't really just pull something out of my ass that I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, listen, I'm a people person. People know me. People like me. I talk to a lot of people. But just because I've talked to a lot of people doesn't know I know exactly what you need.
All right. First question. Why does Board keep assaulting you?
I think he's jealous of my juggling skills. He's jealous that I got in here first. And he seems to do this every year. He winds up crashing into me. I think he's out to get me for some reason.
Could be a sexual thing, too.
I mean, I'm not disinterested, but that'd be a weird take.
For a character, that's a fantastic roleplay, Brondridge.
Yeah.
It's all like, I don't think that's what it is. I don't have a problem if it was.
How do orcs flirt?
Listen, I'm not saying I haven't done some blurb on a lonely Friday night and let my mind wander.
Oh, turbulence! I accidentally fell down on you again. Oh, turbulence!
Jimmy
I fell
Jones is like,
down
hey,
on you again.
it's college. You're willing to try anything once.
You're always there to catch me, Jimmy.
Oh,
We're
like falling on Jimmy.
I was probably going to call it after we're done with this scene.
yeah.
I wasn't sure if you had anything you actually wanted to ask him or if you're just going to keep him in your back pocket.
Give me until next session to figure something out.
That's fine. We can
Yeah.
just pause it here, and we can
Mhm.
say that you let him off because your character doesn't know anything to ask him right now, but he's like, I'll be back.
Before I go, just quick insight. Okay, yeah, I have no idea if he's going to squeal or not. That's fine.
Well, they usually do squeal in front of the interrogation of the cops.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say I appreciate how you effectively did like that cartoonish, my gun, your gun, my gun.
Yeah.
just a bit.
Yep.
Need a handgun.
I'm really
That's
trying to
great.
play up the yucks and yums in this.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I appreciate it. It's good.
I'm
Yeah, I
trying
hope
to
I'm doing a decent job. Like,
You
I feel like if anything I'm going to be good at, it's going to be a comedy one.
I'm having a
Yes.
good time with it.
You very much are. I'm trying really hard to do that thing where you're a character that takes himself completely seriously, but I and everyone else knows it's for comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
No, I like it.
I'm loving your monologues. They're so good.
Mhm.
I will
Yep,
say
that's
my favorite introductions. One was obviously Willie J. Cox.
Yep.
But I also really liked Kenneth's one where he was trying to talk to the bear and trying to shame them about being covered in glitter.
Yep.
Just worked all right in.
Also, I think this joke might have gone over some people's heads, but I wanted to nerf us office. I said I got hit in the shoulder by a balalenka. So a balalenka is an instrument, and this is what it looks like.
Oh yeah, I've seen those before.
Yeah.
It's every time I see that, I'm like, why?
Yep.
The hell was that?
The balalenka.
I feel like that's the great axe and
overly
bard
sized.
instrument weapons.
It's the great axe of bard instruments. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got some notes going. We got through a
Mhm.
few days and stuff.
Mhm.
I'll probably
Oh.
open up with. I have a scene when the next day starts that we're gonna open up with. So.
If I may make a request, Richard,
Mm-hmm.
could I get another handout just for me in Roll20? Because my plan is I'm going to try to hold myself to this. Is I'm going to do the recaps of the previous session, but in character as Willie's mom.
Oh, yes. I remember when we did that for
Hmm.
previous campaigns.
Right,
that
yeah, Dunk
I-
Dunk did that.
yep,
So
yep.
that's my goal for myself.
I look forward to it.